Just back to the upside here to kick things off so far this morning. We're holding on to slight gains after quite the sell-off into the close yesterday, and that continued after the close on a whole bunch of earnings that came into the downside. We'll get into some of those coming up. Worth noting today, not a heck of a lot on the economic calendar coming up at 9:30. A little bit of Canadian composite PMI data for July. 10:30 then. It's Wednesday, so we get some energy information on the natural gas and oil side of things. We'll talk to Rahim Alani. He's going to join us here coming up in a few minutes. A little bit about the energy space and mining as well, following this latest round of tariff back and forth with the U.S. and Canada. That's the Nasdaq currently. A whole bunch of things affecting that so far this morning. AMD, obviously the biggest name to the downside in a pretty big way here so far this morning, trying to hold 164, 163, bit of a support level so far, but pretty ugly right across the board for AMD. SMCI, a lot of people talking about as well, getting absolutely crushed, along with Open. Not so open this morning. You see a theme developing here so far today. I mean, there's not much on the positive side of things so far.
When we were doing the market recap show yesterday, there were really only two of the names that we covered that were actually positive, Brendo. So it felt like there was a lot of red on the board, and it continues that way this morning. As you mentioned, SMCI, AMD, some of the big names that were reported there, but also Disney reporting this morning. A lot of news there. It looks like ESPN rolling out finally that standalone app to focus less on cable and address the cost cutting. And WWE apparently is going to move from Netflix into ESPN, so that should be interesting as well. Tesla also in focus, Brendo, as Elon Musk teasing a new version of FSD that uses 10 times the parameters. It better be better. And then a bunch of other reporting names this morning. We got McDonald's, we got Uber, we got Rivian, a whole bunch to talk about.
Yeah, coming off the back of that court decision yesterday for Tesla that wasn't good on that FSD collision that went against them. Rivian, another one, the EV group to the downside here this morning. The forecast, bit of a mess for Rivian, pointing towards tighter economic conditions, uncertainty surrounding tariffs that is going to supply or negatively affect the supply chain for Rivian. So, I mean, this kind of sounds like what we were talking about for Rivian coming out of the pandemic.
Yeah.
They had a whole bunch of supply chain issues that they seem to start getting ironed out a little bit, but this is concerning for them.
It is, Brendo. I mean, there were some good things in the report. We'll talk about that on the rundown. But yeah, as you mentioned, we really need to see that R2. If they don't start selling more, that top line number grew up a little bit, but not enough that you would see with an R2.
Yeah, I mean, still struggling to make these things fast enough and get them out on the road. Happy Wednesday, guys. Good morning.
Oh, what's going on?
You know what? It's a happy Wednesday for the fact that all of these earnings names are down. Well, with like very few exceptions, but the market's not. Why? Because the Mag 7 lead the market, and Apple's up 1.4% because we heard this morning that we're likely to hear about a new factory from Apple today. This coming from Hassett. That saw Apple move up a couple of points. So look, I get it. Not great for AMD. Certainly not good for SMCI. Not good for Opendoor. We can run through the list of names. But overall, the market is still looking, I'd say, pretty solid, despite the fact there were a lot of signs of turnaround. Like there was a really bearish tone to, I mean, we trended down all day yesterday, and obviously you had reactions to a lot of earnings where like just the slightest bit of weakness and you're going to the downside. Uber reported this morning and beat top and bottom and was initially down and then bounced on the buyback. Yeah. Right? So we're still getting this, we're taking profits and selling in a lot of these names regardless of what ends up happening. But it's good to see Apple get off the schneid with this piece of news. How much of a deal it matters. I mean, didn't we know there was going to be some investing in the U.S. from Apple? It seems like this shouldn't have been that big a surprise, but you'll take anything that moves the stock up at this point because it's been languishing a bit. Lots of day two plays to consider as well. There's a lot of earnings to look at. We know it's a busy week in earnings front, but don't forget Palantir day two. There's a host of other names day two. Palantir, obviously HIMS should be in play once again, but it should be exciting. Do love the fact that you're actually, it's crazy. Like we get so harped up on the gappers and you forget the fact the market barely did anything.
Yeah, the market's just floating around here. Well, I mean, AMD's not a huge part of the market anyways, but I like the fact that Disney right there acquiring the 10% exchange. They got Red Zone, they got some deal with the NFL here. ESPN stake now with the NFL. Direct-to-consumer launch August 21st. Hulu going to be fully integrated into Disney+. I'm actually surprised that Disney is down like this. They raised 585 up 18% year over year, their EPS guidance raise. So, I mean, I think Disney is something to look at, not even really sure why it's down. And, you know, getting this move down into 116, that would have been pretty sweet as well. But we're going to wait to see now where Disney goes today, because I actually like some of that talk. I think the NFL and some of these properties are huge. And then plus you mentioned, or Brendan mentioned WWE coming through. I didn't even look at that part of it yet. So bad for Netflix, I guess, but good here for Disney. And we'll wait to see what winds up happening with WWE and whatnot. But yeah, Disney is kind of one of those names that we don't trade too often. But
double-digit growth domestically in their parks. Like the everything else about them is doing well. And they're literally making money streaming now for like the second quarter in a row, which is pretty good. I mean, the whole idea was that every streamer sans Netflix didn't make any money, and Disney Plus is making money, and it's actually growing subscribers too. So say what you want about how badly they're ruining, or how badly they're treating certain franchises. Here, that's my nice way of saying it. No, it is a weird one, but this goes back to that phenomenon, Sean, of it's a good performing stock. That everything about it that you read is good, but we're just kind of taking a step back. 50% up from the bottoms, maybe that's just what it comes down to. Like if it's not ridiculously perfect and the growth isn't big enough, then we don't care that you beat our expectations. You're just going to have to go sideways for a little bit. The market just seems like we're at a point where we're struggling in some regards to break out those highs. It's like some people, some get to do it, and most of the others, despite all these beats, are disappointing us.
Yeah, so I was just looking it up. So it's August 27th is NVIDIA earnings.
That's Superman is in the building.
Yo, Super Randy, we have, you might...
Uh-oh, don't look now.
Well, I mean,
I already have.
You choose whatever one you want. Neil's got one in his hand there.
No, but here's the thing, though. Can I
prefer the short stack.
Can I eat it out of a spoon? Can I eat it with a spoon? I saw this thing. Joe was watching, I saw this thing. Joe was watching a video, I just happened to turn my head, where some dude, I don't know how he did it, but I guess he cut the top of the banana and was scooping it out with a spoon. I issue not, like he was the guy who was
I mean, that's TikTok. I mean, that's what it is, right? It's
what is wrong
with these guys are just trying to get views, I guess, at the end of the day. But
I don't know.
Rivian Randy, we have a problem here with Rivian.
Yeah.
Right now. Vehicles produced, 5,900 versus 9,600 last year.
I told you.
Deliveries down 22%. But they did reinforce that they should be able to get 40 to 46,000 units next year. Cost per vehicle rose.
Hello.
$118,000 it cost them to make a car?
Rare earth metals, supply chains, tariffs, the cost of...
It's about the rare earth.
The parts and pieces and the bits and goods that go into these vehicles has gone.
Yeah, through the roof, yeah.
So, you know, where do you source these rare earth metals and where do they come from and who's got them and how much you're willing to pay for them? Because there's a limited supply. And prices are...
A bunch of rare earth metals in East Gwillimbury, so hopefully they can get those. I have no idea.
East Gwillimbury.
Anyways, that's the whole thing about China. That's why we're thinking about the EVs.
Need a deal, man.
Why BYD and why all these companies, NIO, keep on going upside. They have the goods over there. They don't have this sort of government pressures.
Right,
they can actually produce them.
And there's going to be no more EV rebates, right, or anything like that?
It's dwindling. Yeah. So if it's not federal, it's state and otherwise. So... is it a darkening picture? Some of these companies have to learn how to be, again, more productive, more cost. Rivian's doing it. Are they there yet? No. But cost efficiency.
You need that R2T or whatever that next model is.
The R2,
yeah, they need that one going through. And I think
as long as you don't run out of money before that. But they got a decent war chest.
So, I didn't look at the cash cash flow burn statement, but that's the key thing.
Isn't it almost better to not make any cars whatsoever than to lose on every one that you're producing?
You got to learn somehow.
You gotta. That's what I'm saying. You gotta fix the engineering issues. You've got you can't make them for cheaper unless you got to fail before you can succeed.
Right.
That's
you got to walk
unfortunate
before
problem.
you run. So you get there. You write that playbook and fix the problems and get it done.
And don't run out of cash before you do. And if you do, then great. And then on top of that, you need people to then go out and buy them. It's like it's such a hard business.
Go ask Volkswagen for more money.
So the question remains: we are finally getting near that point. Are you still going to try to buy some or no?
Yeah.
Oh, you still like it? Okay. Hey, man.
What about Lucid? Any thought?
I didn't even see what that number was.
Same move.
I have a big floating question mark sitting over Lucid. I don't see the direction there. I don't see the gallop. I don't know. There's a bit of a meander there that I don't yet understand.
Yeah, they're both down 7%.
Anyway, coffee?
Sure, we'll take. Always. Thank you, Randy. Superman and EV Man is leaving the building, but yeah, like it's pretty much exactly the same move. They're both down not exactly the same thing, but similar moves.
Deliveries
here
dropped
Lucid.
22%.
No, but for these guys, so Lucid, they came out and they cut their delivery, like it's their production. They can't even produce. They had to cut their production number projection by like 10%. It's like, what is going on here? Like that you're going in the wrong direction. Like you should be worried about, again, making them cheaper, not making them at all.
At least our investments in Mullen are.
Well, I mean, Mullen hands down. Beanie,
what are we even doing
Binny?
now?
Bollinger, I should never forget the name
Bands,
of it.
yeah.
Bollinger Innovations. We should always remember the new Mullen is Bollinger Innovations for no reason.
But I mean, to some of the points that we've been talking about, like here's NIO, right? I mean, here's a daily chart for NIO. You can see Rivian, Lucid, Tesla we can't include because Tesla has just so many more angles and so many more levers to pull. But you could see the sort of the reaction here to NIO, to BYD. We can call it BYD, which is right here, BYDFF. BYD, there it is. Oh, BYDDF. Okay, there it is. Right here. There's different companies here. This one's probably not the right one. BYDDY. Yeah, there it is. Let's see what this one is. Oh no, that's still the same price. All right, I thought this was actually doing a little bit better than it was. This is BY. Oh, it's because they split. That's why. Yeah, okay. So our charts aren't showing that properly there. So, but anyways, the idea behind all of this was that we do have, here's BYD company. Yeah, we're gonna have to figure that out afterwards. But most of these Chinese names starting to get going here versus, I mean, but Lucid's Saudi, I guess. And then we do have some of that money coming in from there. And then Rivian, of course, that plant in Georgia. And then we have that big announcement from Donald Trump coming today, apparently at 4:30, some kind of an announcement. We were wondering if it got spoiled by Apple.
Never dull moment.
Armand,
Armand's in the house.
Oh, he's shy right away. That's okay.
There's a lot going on here.
Yeah, Raheem brought his little man over here, so that's going to be
stock picking expert.
Exactly. Expert. I want to hear some.
We need him. We need him today.
Roblox, right, Armand? Roblox. Yeah, he's fixing his hair over there. All right, well.
We've got the big smiles going.
Yeah, now I'm not going to stop smiling now because whenever we get the little ones around here, it's always a blessing. So we will, not to spoil it, but we will have Raheem Alani coming through in a couple seconds. Yeah, if you hadn't guessed there. Talking about, what is the topic today? Lithium. Okay. Well, we're excited to hear everything that he has to say about lithium. So that should be exciting. But yeah, look, it's 8:43. We're super happy. Air quality's getting better.
I can breathe outside.
These places we can now breathe. We don't have blood dripping from our eyes and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool right now. But yeah, all right. Look, lots of stuff happening. And it's funny. We just talked about rare earth metals and cars and all of that stuff. And then there it goes. We do have Raheem coming through for all of that. So yeah, it's going to be a good one here. Get ready for that. Yeah, let's go back over to the desk and we'll get this all sorted.
Reason there's a fire season around here now and a smoky season around here now.
This didn't happen when we were young. No, this is a new thing.
It's been so bad this year again. You buying OpenAI, given the opportunity at $500 billion
He just
valuation?
raised Brendo in March for 300. How did he just almost 2x it?
Fine.
Within like
500 billion.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And he's been talking about this. He needs to build out more. Remember when they started, they launched that image generation feature inside chat, and he was like, our GPUs are melting because of the demand. So clearly the demand is there.
I guess he solved that problem a little bit. I mean, it's worth noting Microsoft, for what it's worth, downside a little bit, really the only thing we can look at outside of that ETF. But yeah, there it is. OpenAI eyeing a record 500 billion valuation in latest employee share sale. I guess they're pretty happy. Raheem, you buying OpenAI at 500 billion?
Get it, Raheem.
He's not listening to me.
It's okay.
I'll ask him when he comes over. I just think this is crazy, but
and they just got 8.3 billion like last week. Part of that $30 billion funding round that they had in March, they got a tranche, 8.3 billion. So he's been getting money in droves, Brendo, and he's building out that huge data center out in Texas as well. So
yeah, I mean, clearly they've resolved some of at least the power issue and processing for what they need. But crazy valuation, guys. If this thing ever comes public, you just close eyes and push buy, I guess.
OpenAI? Yeah, I mean, we're still talking to Raheem over here. But I think that's true. I mean, we just talked about eventually when will this IPO sort of train end. I mean, it's just getting started. We have, Joe went over the list. There's 6 or 7 names coming in the next couple of weeks, I believe, as far as IPO season's concerned. I mean, we wait for OpenAI, we wait for
That's
Discord.
At a different level.
They're coming out at 500, I guess is what they're talking about, 500 billion valuation right now. The big winner is Microsoft.
Big time, but like the big winner also is the fact that they don't need to. If they're still consistently able to raise money like this, they're like, what's the rush? And so, like, we all want it to happen. Don't get me wrong.
Why is Microsoft not going up?
I'm not holding my breath.
Microsoft has 49% of their for-profit.
Well, what more do you
business.
want Microsoft to do at this point? I don't know. Like,
No, I want them to go up. I mean, if they own this big part of OpenAI, their valuation should be going up with it. I'm a little bit surprised. When I heard that story.
the trend is so good on Microsoft.
Oh, it's not. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the stock. I was just saying, like, today coming in here, it's only up 0.5% Microsoft.
Yeah.
They just added probably, I don't know, maybe it's 100 billion or so. I guess that's for how much this stock is worth.
You know what the problem for?
You're probably right. It's not that big of a deal.
It's still digesting in after earnings on Microsoft. Like, I think a lot of these names have done this. There was like Google did this yesterday, and at some point we got to look at that chart, because what happened? Google had an earnings level of like 168 post earnings, and it's tagged it now 3 times in reverse. It's like, it's so obvious. And Microsoft has one going on here at like 540. So like, it's just, I think we're digesting this round of earnings, and we don't care too much about these other little ancillary things. And unfortunately, when you have this good of a market rally, this is just what comes with it. Ultimately, I think, should Microsoft maybe be getting a bump on that in normal circumstances? Yes, but it's also up 0.5 to the market being flat. So I don't think it's that big of a deal. I also am not, like I said, I'm not holding my breath on OpenAI going public. I don't think it's
really. I think they're going to go.
I think it's going to happen. I just feel as if in the timeline that we would all hope that it happens, it won't.
Right.
And sometime next year, maybe we can get excited about it.
Trying to load up the news here in case something goes on. Disney conference call going on right now as well. Remember, some of these names, there goes Disney. So, darn, man.
See,
we were just talking about it at one, remember, I was like at 116. There it is. If we come over, Andre's gone over there. That's okay. But Disney right now up to 119. We were just talking about it at 116. So there's $3 straight to the upside right now for Disney. So ESPN says it gains rights to stream the NFL draft. Starting with the 2025 season, the deal with the NFL will give ESPN 28 football games. Wow, that's pretty good. More than before. So 28. I guess 1.5 a week or something like that. They'll get that all figured out.
As long as it doesn't affect my DAZN.
Yeah, I don't know what it's. I don't know what it's going to do for all that.
Because we're international.
But what about Red Zone? Is
Canadian in Canada? We get DAZN. You get to watch NFL because it's Canada's international.
Right, but so, ESPN has some sort of a deal with TSN and stuff like that.
I don't know.
So I feel like any game that will be on ESPN will be broadcasted somewhere here. I was watching.
I hope so.
Little League was yesterday on ESPN.
Little League World Series has some of the most There was like a sign stealing scandal in the Little League.
There what? Yeah, sign stealing.
Yeah, there's actually, so this is weird. Most people don't know this. In baseball, if you're standing at second base and the pitcher is dumb enough to show you what's in his glove, you can relay all the signs you want. Like, I could be like, this guy's throwing a fastball. If I can see it visually, what the Astros were doing was cheating with a camera and technology. But in Little League baseball, you are not allowed, even if the second base runner, you're not allowed to lead off, so you're standing on second base.
Yeah.
You can look in and you can see the sign, but you're not allowed to relay it. It's unsportsmanlike, and they warn you, and then they can eject the coach, they can eject the player, because they want kids learning like the right way, which is, right. I think it makes a heck of a lot of sense. But some team was doing it in the Little League World Series, and the kid was like, fastball, he's like doing this from second base. Obvious sign. And then dude hits a bomb after they get warned, the guy just hits a walk-off. He's like, yeah, whatever, I don't need to know, grand slam.
Yeah, no, it's, the funny thing is that I see all of that. Oh, we're still on.
We're still on.
Yeah, we're still on, Neil. Oh, Andre's getting it all set.
Oh, yeah, so we don't have the two-shot.
Yeah, just keep talking, Neil.
It's all good, We're just lining it up.
I was going to say, the best part is I watch it with my daughter, and we look at the bats everybody's using.
Oh,
so one of the bat that she has, we showed it on the show, that Icon is one of the most used ones, so she's really happy about that. I just told her she's got to hit like those guys, 12 years old. But yeah, Little League, you can't steal until the ball crosses the plate. We have practice today. Shout out to the Red Sox of High Park. High Park Little League went to the Nationals. They represented Ontario for Little League. So that's what's happening right now on ESPN. It's not the Little League World Series.
It's a
they're trying to qualify.
Yeah.
So yeah, I saw Hawaii yesterday playing. That was pretty cool.
Oh, it's a big, it's
Hawaii.
so competitive.
Anyways, we'll get Rivian going on. All right, we have Lithium Man ready to go, I think, over there at the desk. So let's go see what Raheem and Brendan are all up to.
Yeah, minor audio issue has been resolved. Raheem is here.
I'm here because you want to hear me, I think, right?
Yeah.
So that's why
I hope everyone can hear.
We're okay.
Anyway, if we can't, we'll fix it again. We're going to touch on a couple things. In the mining space in general, coming off what happened last week, if you missed it again, the Trump administration coming back at Canada once again with a 35% tariff on things outside of the current USMCA agreement, which expires next year, which I think is part of the reason why we haven't heard too much more on the back of tariff land from Trump towards Canada specifically. Some of these stocks, however, have started to pick up once again, not only in the rare earth space, but specifically in the lithium space for some reason.
Yeah, lithium's gone very active, back to almost kind of 4 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago kind of days, wherein they know there is a need for lithium for batteries, and it goes into pharmaceuticals and it goes into all these things. And lithium is exceptionally important. And the U.S., going back to the 90s, was a 27% producer of worldwide lithium. Today, they are producing 1%. And you look at Australia, that's 41%. You look at China, that's 18%. You look at Chile, that's 24% of world production. And the U.S. has 1%. So now you got to figure out what are they going to do and what's going to happen with lithium globally. One might surmise that there's going to need to be some more transactional activity happening in lithium. So you can get these mines online to supply what the U.S. is going to need.
All right, as always, we come prepared with, or Raheem comes prepared with a few ideas as far as how we can get maybe a little bit of exposure to a potential move, or if there's going to be some sort of rally in this entire space. Lithium America is here, is the first one you brought on a daily time frame. This thing has been bouncing along this 250 level for quite some time.
Yeah, and again, if you look at the lithium chart, you go back, to 22 when lithium was 80,000. You go to today where it's 10,000. So you take that 5-year view, it's definitely going to follow in line with that. It is one of the larger lithium players out there. And they did spin off their South American assets to focus singularly on the U.S., which is exactly what they've done. They have a partnership with GM. So on their big project, GM owns 38% of the asset, and they own 62% of it. And so you've got a good player like GM. You've got a U.S.-focused play. And again, the U.S. is going to try to make all things U.S. Mm-hmm. And so when that comes and when that occurs, all that spending, all that government grant money, whatever they can do to help subsidize or support U.S. growth of these materials, they're going to try and do.
So this, if we zoom out a little bit on this chart, you'll see a huge move down. That came on the back of them spinning off their South American assets. Completely different companies at this point, and two different stocks, if anyone's looking at it.
Yeah, so Lithium Argentina is its own thing, and Lithium Chile.
Exactly.
Sorry, yeah. So yeah, they are their own complete plays, separate plays. But again, just to focus singularly on the U.S. is what their intention was. And I think it's probably going to work out well for them, given what's happening with U.S. mandates to push things along.
All right, on the Canadian side of things, Standard Lithium is SLI here in Toronto. A little bit more healthy looking chart here.
Yeah, slightly more healthier. Again, you have the Canadian names don't have as much volatility, so it's a negative for the negative for the upside, a positive for the downside. So there isn't as much of that. They did also get DOE money, which is interesting. So they got $220 million of grants from the DOE because the DOE does need to again get more money out into some of these entities. Now, what's going to be interesting, I think, just as an aside, is when this money comes in. Are they going to be allowed to make investments, companies allowed to make investments into places like Canada and Australia? But yeah, they have lithium sulfite. It's going to be a new technology that they're trying. And they are in Arkansas as well as Texas, and they just got something approved with a commission in Arkansas. So again, good to see government involvement at various levels.
This next one actually going to mirror some of the charts that we've been looking at over the past couple of days here in this space specifically. PMET is Patriot battery metals here. I mean, again, great looking chart.
Yeah, it's a good looking chart. If you go again, take out the long view, it's had an exceptional run. And then it came trailed down because that's just the price of lithium, and that's what happened. So they recently, just to add some credence to what they're doing, they just got 9.9% of their company was just acquired by Volkswagen. They invested into it for access to this new to the lithium sulfide technology. So 9.9%, 69 million came in from Volkswagen. So you're going to see some of these car companies similar to Lithium Americas, where they had GM come in. Here we have got Volkswagen coming in.
CRE, tell me about that one. This is the wrong chart. I'll grab the right one here. But tell me about critical elements.
Yeah, just picked a couple of names because just to take outside of just lithium, let's look at the critical mineral space. So CRE, it's got critical right in the name. So they are focused in Canada, in James Bay. Important in Canada for our American friends is that you should have good government relations and you should have good relationships with the First Nations if you are a project that's in that part of the world or in Canada. So they have that. And they do have some additional government money. They have potentially another $100 million coming in from a U.S. bank as well.
So it's one of those kind of like AI. There was that stretch where anything that had AI built in, it was just.
Imagine if you had critical AI.
Critical AI.
We'd be killing a critical AI lithium co.
Here's another one. Critical One Energy weekly chart here. A little tiny stock.
Yeah, so it's had a good run as well. What they've done is they had a uranium asset, gold asset, antimony asset. They divested the uranium asset, focused on the gold and antimony. Antimony is going to be incredibly important in the new world of critical minerals. So they've had a nice run. They've had a couple of small capital raises that they've done as well to support their company as they go. And so we're seeing those small raises happening very actively. We haven't seen a summer this busy in a long time.
Just to touch on the high level again, I mean, outside of that current USMCA deal, a lot of these prices could potentially get affected once we get some sort of renegotiation of that or a final number, whatever that's going to be from the U.S.
Yeah, because it's August 1st, then it's August 8th, then it's August 15th. We don't know what any of these dates are. There's so many different agreements that are moving and have different moving pieces that come with all of them. So I think, again, Canada does have an opportunity because of all of its mineral exposure. And in addition, because Canadian stocks are the mining home, you're going to start to see opportunities for these listed companies, whether they are based in Canada or based in other parts of the world, where the U.S. may not be able to go outside and do these things. They're going to have to home grow a lot of these things, especially copper, lithium will be important. So you might start to see big opportunities for some of these international companies.
More to come, as always. Rahim Alani is managing director over at OCI Group. It's good to see you. We're gonna bring little man Armand. Come say hi.
As we talk about Sean's Little League High Park team, that's going to make it to the ESPN.
He's coming. Hi, Armand. Does Armand have a critical minerals or a battery play?
What color? What do we like for stocks? We like green. There we go.
Like green.
Like to make money. And what's your favorite stock? Oh, Cisco's his favorite stock.
Cisco.
Oh,
okay.
Cisco. Oh, Cisco.
Oh, Cisco.
Yeah, so shout out to OM, and that's his favorite stock. So you guys should put him on retainer.
I love the bow tie.
Hey, he's got to wear green. He's coming on TV to talk about stocks, right?
He's got the Dan Ives look going on this morning.
So tell everybody, go out and work hard and make money. There you go. My guy.
There you go. Lessons learned.
Yes.
Yeah,
I love the
thanks
bow tie too, man.
Yeah, thanks for sharing, Raheem.
You were on TV.
With that one, but yeah, right there. So there you go, man. Now he'll
send it to your modeling
Now he goes
agency to be like-
running back off there.
Oh,
All
you
right,
see
so
the
that's pretty
smile on
cool.
his
So
face right
Cisco.
now.
So we got to buy some Cisco coming through right now. But no, interesting to see that Lithium America down there at those key levels.
I didn't realize it was that far down with you.
Sometimes you don't even really need to worry about the macro side of it. It comes down to a technical level, and it's like, okay, I'm going to buy it and see if it holds, because you do get that nice upside play there. Interesting to hear that only 1% of that lithium there in the United States. So that means that, with all this tariff talk and things like that, this isn't going to be a sector that's well watched. So just forget about all. You talked about MP.
Well, MP, if we go to the other side, because rare earth metals, lithium, like MP is breaking out again today. So when we talk about, and I do fear like this is exactly the kind of stock where you get a China deal and we could wake up and this is 20%, 30% to the downside, just because there's more access to rare earth metals in China. So materials matter, and at the end of the day, like those input costs, everyone wants to try to bring them down. Everyone wants to try to bring production home for lots of reasons, and these guys do have a lot going for them. But it's crazy how far MP has moved. Like it just annoys me that I didn't buy this stock. But what are you supposed to do? I think it's flying a little bit high. I'm kind of looking for. I think there's going to be an opportunity to catch this after the China deal. I think it goes into a little bit downtrend after that, and that'll be an opportunity to get into it for the long term at a more reasonable rate, because it's it's only 1.6 today, but this is just flying way too far in my opinion. So we'll see. I don't have any lithium plays. I've never I was looking at the lit. It's lit. Like if you look at the lithium,
Yeah, the
ETF,
the ETF is a safe play, right?
the ETF's always a safe play if you want to get in there. It's just sort of I don't really know the name that I want, but you want to play in the momentum of it. You can always go into an ETF, and I know for American viewers, lit is the one that you want to look at over formerly the AMEX and IZ America's market. But yeah, that's something worth looking at if you like it. And of course, rare earths, MP is unbelievable high flyer. It's just insane. The other thing that's crazy, before we go back, Apple's really looking strong. It was almost 2%, and I do think we have a chance for this to do some continuation. As far as the news, look, we're expecting a plant announcement sometime today. I don't think that's something, as I said before, we knew these investments were coming, so just the day that it's happening or potentially getting announced could just be the excuse for it to bounce after earnings. And I really don't care the reason it bounces after earnings. I just care the fact that it's held the low multiple days in a row. So you start looking long when after earnings the stock holds the same low for a couple of days. You start factoring in that you want to be in the long play, and that's what Apple's giving you.
Yeah, for sure. We like Apple. I just put Apple on the watch here today on the sticky note. That'll be on just a couple minutes. So yeah, we'll continue to watch everything, man. I mean, AMD is trying to battle back a little bit here as well. As I just looked at it, 165, trying to break through 166. It's low print here around 163. So we're up a couple bucks here off the bottom of AMD now, just down 5%. And then that Disney move as well. We're going to talk about all these names in just a couple seconds as we go back over the desk. But there's that move up to 119 as they announced a 28 game. Mentioned there about NFL, and here comes right back down into 117 again. So we'll watch out for Disney. A couple big names on earnings tonight, yesterday and this morning. So we'll make sure to cover all of that right now. Go scan scan that QR code, but go find the link in the description. Grab our watch list. We're going to do the rundown right now. It's a self-curated list, and so everything we'll be talking about in movers and shakers all over that right now. Why are people saying VFS right now? Is VinFast moving finally?
VinFast.
Well, we can look at that after. Up to 359 right now, VinFast. Again, not doing anything.
No,
I was going to say because with Rivian yesterday and with Rivian and Lucid and then the Tesla number on the cars, not a great space right now. So, okay, Rivian, we're going to find out about that, I'm sure, coming up. Let's go over to Sharif. Let's talk about the market. Then let's go over this rundown.
All right, guys, 63.26. That's where we closed out yesterday on the ES September contract. We're above it right now. Not by much, though, 63.39. So about 10 points above with the overnight high, taking us up into that 63.58. So here's the deal. We're going to continue to use 6,300 since we're below 63.50 as our support. 63.50 will be resistance unless we can clear it. If we clear it decisively, Brando, we're looking at 6,400 as resistance.
Yeah, still in this area for the overall market. Let's get into individually what we need need to know so far this morning. If you haven't done so, make sure you grab the watch list. Absolutely free, comes right to your inbox every day. Jump down to the description of this video. There's a link, top link will get you to the sign up page. And then all you need is your email address to get that from us for free. A ton of analyst moves actually just coming through here on AMD. A lot of them in the red on this board. Typically means either a negative look or a price target cut for AMD. I mean, overall, a lot of cautious terms from a lot of these earnings reports last night. AMD definitely one of those.
Yeah, it was China and the data centers that really kept this one down. Everything else was okay, Brendo. So let's talk about it. EPS missed 48 pennies. The street wanted 49. Revenue did beat 7.69 billion. The street was looking for 7.42. That's a 32% year-over-year increase on that top line number, with Q3 guidance coming in 8.7 billion plus or minus 300 million. That's above the estimates that the street was looking for. They were looking basically for 8.3, so not a bad look there. Their AI revenue did decline, though, year over year. According to them, U.S. export restrictions, especially the loss of the MI308, which is kind of their equivalent of the H20. That's that China-specific GPU that they had made for export. That's still being approved at the moment. AMD expects no China-based revenue at all, Brendo, in Q3 as the export license for that MI308 continues its review. Adjusted gross earnings were about 43%. They would have been 54% if there hadn't been any export controls. They're also launching the MI400 series, which is going to ship next year. Altman and crew at OpenAI are backing the chip. And their new MI350, which is kind of that equivalent for the Blackwell, the GB or the B200, that's going to be coming out next year as well. That's really good both for training and inference, not just training. So keep an eye out on that. This is where it all fell apart, though, Brendo. Their data segment revenue did rise 14% year over year, up to 3.2 billion, but their CapEx as well increasing, so that kind of offset things. We'll see how that ends up working out. And the last but not least, their gaming and client segments. Gaming revenue jumped 73%. Client revenue, which includes desktop and CPUs, that rose 53%, with the total gaming and client segment up 69% year over year. That didn't matter to analysts or the market. They want to see that data center AI revenue go.
And growth. AMD, I mean, I think it's key, guys, to zoom out here a little bit, get some context. Absolutely monstrous. If you go to a daily chart since April, I mean, we're here so far today, 165. I think it could have been a lot worse.
One thing that you got to hear from everything Sharif was saying, with those numbers, if they were able to export to China. So like, even in their guide, they're not including that revenue. So it's a China deal that allows them to get back in the game is going to be big. So I know we always talk, every single time there's negotiations or whatever deal, like the first place, we all think about NVIDIA first. Rightfully so. There's nothing wrong with that. But AMD, I don't wonder the day that that happens might be the mover and shaker that we pay attention to. Now, obviously, we'd said last night, like you were getting into some levels and the rally was so big on AMD that it's not like it's inevitable, but come on. If it wasn't perfect, they weren't going to break out. It would be struggle to break out the 185, let alone be up in general. It's been such a good momentum vehicle, and you haven't really even broken the trend on the daily chart. So yeah, like it's not worry too much. Like I'd almost look at it from this point. Like you can look at it from the absolute low, which works as well, and you'd be waiting for 150. But if you look at it from the hold of the 200 period moving average, and when it really broke out here, then the trend line, we're essentially bouncing off it now. I like AMD as a momentum play, but today, it's hard not to look at that and look at this 168 area and say, well, that's a prior support level. And if we've topped out lower high, catalyst, 168, it just sort of sets itself up there. And it's not, the good news is it's not as bad as SMCI, because SMCI was, we'll talk about that one next. That was bad. That one's bad. But yeah, AMD, it's if you take the context of if they're able to sell to China, then these earnings are completely different, which I guess we all know.
Look, I have it listed here, pretty simply put here. The sticky note's now out. I will put this it should be out on Instagram soon as well, if not already. But I have AMD right here as pretty much the #1 trade. If we ever get near 170 short, I like it. It's not a great print for sure there. We just want to fade some pops. Now, the thing is like, it wasn't all bad in the report, but you can't really look at things, just look at the numbers, the stock has reacted some kind of ways, right? And so right here, the 200 period moving average is at 168. I actually have an offer in and around 168.75 to see if we can pop up into this level right there. And then that's where we'll take our first short, and then we'll see if we can get back up here. But I'm thinking to myself, here's a 50 period moving average as well on a 5-minute chart. That's at 170. I just like trading off of key levels. We bounced off 170 right there a couple of days ago and then started to head to the upside. We also have held some of these levels around 168 in the past. So I think there's going to be some kind of a liquidity event or something up here near 168, where if it wants to rip, we could get up to that level, then fade back. Remember, if we close around 168, you're only going to be down about 3%, which isn't that bad if we can get going. Then I think the fade starts to happen. I mean, the problem is this. You know, we said that valuations don't matter until a print comes that Street doesn't like. Now, they didn't miss or anything. Actually, they did miss on EPS, right? But it wasn't overly that bad. Let me see. What did they miss by 1 penny, right? So, right, 41 cents per share, missing estimates. Oh, that's super micro, sorry, of 44. It was 48, missing of 49, right? So they missed by 1 cent. So their PE is 120. Their forward PE is 120. That's way too expensive. The market is 22. NVIDIA's is 40. So yeah, AMD right there, missing, getting punished because of valuation. I think the stock goes lower. I'm looking for a little bit of a pop-up to short that first, and then we go to the south side after that. I don't want to break this low. I think breaking through 162 right now, back in another $3-4 is just a lot for right now. Let's see if AMD wants to get going, and then we'll fade any kind of a pop. That to me, when you miss and your PE is 3 times your competitors, it's going to be a problem. So for me, AMD is a short today and only a short. I will not go long. I'll just fade pops.
All right, let's go on to SMCI. Barely a bounce. Every bounce that we've had so far this morning has been sold right back into. It's below $50 here. It seems to be a bit of a pivot for it. Worse than expected report right across.
It was, Brendo. It was. Let's talk about it. EPS 41 pennies. Automatically miss a 45, and it's down from the 63 pennies earnings per share they printed last year on the quarter. Revenue did come in at $5.8 billion, below the $6 billion estimate. So you have a top line miss and a bottom line miss right off the bat. And we haven't even got into margins yet, which also dropped, Brendo, 9.6% gross margins. That's down from the 10% they had last year on the quarter. Let's talk about the guide now. They're guiding Q1 2026 guidance here, also missing expectations. However, some silver lining. The full year 2026 revenue guide was raised up to $33 billion, but expect the majority of that in the second half of 2026. They're looking to incur more costs in the earlier part. There are AI tailwinds riding the AI boom, obviously, but now they're facing pricing competition and commoditization. AI server prices, this was interesting to me, have actually fallen 110% year over year for full year 2025. They were up in full year 2025, 47%. So it looks like competition starting to creep its head into the server business. And there's 2 customers that account for 64% of their accounts receivable, which obviously shows a lot of concentration on a few names, which could pose a problem in the future.
I was just checking, short percent down significantly from where it once was. I see about 15.5%. That being said, we're back to big time levels here, guys, for SMCI.
Yeah, well, I guess, silver lining is you're maybe at a support level right here, I guess, but like the margins, it's just not, this was a huge disappointment for SMCI, and I'm not going to rehash the numbers, and they don't look very good. And when you talk about things that are, the word people like to use is price to perfection, and you can say whatever you want about expectations in this cycle being a little bit lower. That's why everyone was beating, but you miss across the board. And declining margins is not where you want to be for them, especially in the face of others in the space, which are fantastic. Look, $46 is an obvious, I think, area to look for an SSR bounce. The pre-market low is at 47, and you go to the daily chart and you'll find 47. I guess SMCI is down 17%. I think if it does a reversion bounce play long, it's not going to be so simple as we're just going to go off the first even dollar level you find. So if it's over 46 still, then I look for some kind of a trend reverse in the first half an hour, and that's just because it's down to 10%. The level I liked for the short was 51, and there was a point at which it felt like, yeah, maybe we're going to trend into the 51 level. But if this gets up there, my suspicion is that AMD's gone up. If this gets to 51, like this goes from $47 to $51, there's a pretty good chance there's a pop and fade and a name that you'd be more comfortable playing a level on. Because with SMCI, if it gets up here, you got to be super patient with it. Like I'll remind myself about Coinbase yesterday. Like we got the turn on HIMS because we were patient. With Coinbase, I wasn't that patient with it, and then had it off the level. But by the time it confirmed, you're like, you just take the back end of the trade, the same side. I feel like if SMCI pops today and I want to short off that 51, that's the level of patience required. Sometimes you got to let it go through, allow it to reverse, and then you get that level on the way back down. So that's how I'll play any pop in SMCI, because for it to move $5, it might not take that much.
Yeah, we had their SMCI supposed to have, roughly 13 to 14, 15% move implied by options, and right now you're down 17%. So there's a recalibration here. They had expected, there was a whisper number of around 40 billion for the coming year, and they guided 33. So that's well down, and there's the move plus a huge miss on the EPS. I think this name extends itself lower here. I just paid for shorts. They're super cheap. They're basically free here. For 500 shares, it was like 25 cents or something to borrow those. So that's absolutely nothing. But breaking back down below this 47 mark rate there, to me, would be a decent opportunity to trade. So I was going to look short early on, 47 break on SMCI. It kind of looks, oh no, the chart's going to do something, isn't it? Hold on, I better zoom. Yeah, there it is. Okay, I better zoom in. But this level's held before, so let's just see if it does again. Those bottom wicks are what's concerning me a little bit, because that's 46.25. I didn't add it to the sticky note here today because of that. I don't know, like we could stop in and around that 46 marker, but if we break that, you know what, I should have probably added it. Like SMCI breaking through this 46, 47 mark right here, I think is a decent trade. So I'm gonna put this actually onto the note in just a couple seconds and as an addition. Down here today, I think the move continues. We've had Daniel Shea, we've had different people on saying that when we exceed this move, generally speaking, it can continue. I've known that to be somewhat true with some of the stocks that we've been watching. So I'm going to be shorting SMCI. I mean, I think today you have AMD downside, SMCI downside. It's not great. I think the market turns red at some point as well. We had that huge short yesterday, and thank you so much for all those super chats regarding that short yesterday as well. But let's just see what we can do. I like the trade on SMCI. We'll see if it can hold that 46 level, if not smash City.
Let's continue along here with Shopify, a better part of $20 on the morning right now. They did, it was kind of interesting here on the conference call. They did make a lot of comments directed specifically towards the de minimis changes that happened over the past couple of weeks, essentially saying it's still in the very, very early stages. They haven't seen the final outcome of this, but overall, I mean, very, very positive here.
Very, but that could be an important headwind, Brendo, good bringing that up. Q2 revenue here, guys, did rise nicely year over year, 31% up to $2.68 billion, easily beating the $2.045 expected by the street, with gross profit also jumping here to $1.32 billion, up from the $1.04 that they printed on the year, so fantastic look. Operating income also climbed up $291 million. Again, year-over-year bump there. Free cash flow improved to $442 million. Operating expenses expected to stay kind of between that 38 to 39% of their Q3 revenue. So we'll have to see whether they're able to kind of control costs. Their guide now, let's talk about their guiding for Q3 of this year. They're forecasting mid to high 20% revenue growth year over year in Q3, with gross profit expected to grow in the low 20%. And stock-based compensation here going to be a bit of a headwind. About $130 million they expect to spend on stock-based compensations for their employees. And here's how they did regionally, Brendo. Strength across North America, Europe, and Asia, with Europe as a standout growth driver for them here. So looking to expand beyond North.
Yeah, a little bit thin. Not a heck of a lot of liquidity here, guys, for Shopify so far, but as we said, up big time.
It doesn't always have a ton of liquidity, let's be real, but you gotta like the upbeat outlook here for Shopify, especially considering, I mean, what did we just have? Like we just went through a negative print and some signs of weakness in the job market, and I'll tell you guys, it's not like things are exactly booming north of the border. in the economy either. So when you put that together, the fact that they're actually guiding positively is a really good sign, because you might suspect a little bit of weakness in this space. That said, as Brennan mentioned, it's not the most liquid name, and you get to choose a lot of different things to trade today. And we'll talk about Open, obviously, and we just talked about the chips and day two plays like Palantir. There's a lot to look at, so there's a decent chance Shopify might go by the wayside. I would venture, usually when I see it hold pre-market at the volume weighted average price, when it is a gap up of this nature, it's hunted above the expected range, and you want to look for a continuation, I want to see the Open hold that 145. It's a blue sky setup here for Shopify right now. Let me just look at it not split adjusted for you guys, because there we go. Show it over here. It's a blue sky setup because we've broken it. I wanted to be able to show you guys that we've broken out that high from earlier in the year, and you're essentially gapped out above it. So at the end of the day, you're looking for a place to join on trend with a trade setup, and usually I'm looking at VO. I'm not trying to take breakouts on a stock this thin at that kind of a high when we've had some weakness in the overall market, and I could see profit takers come into this thing. So let's see if volume weighted average price holds for it. I doubt I trade it. To be honest with you guys, it's like the one name that's strong. I was choosing between this and a bunch of things that we trade on a regular basis, so that always makes it a lot easier. But this is the only thing that's double-digit strength to the upside. Now we have one that I think wouldn't surprise me if we saw double digits to the downside.
We were just looking at, we were talking about Rivian, but we were just looking at Scout.
Opendoor.
I think going to give Rivian a little bit of a run for its money. But here's just one of many conference call comments that came from Rivian's call last night. The CFO straight up saying the lower production volume, so a significant drop off in the amount of units made, led to a $14,000 per unit charge or increase in loss per unit for the company. Overall, it's going to be a challenge, I hear.
Absolutely, Brendo, but you brought up Scout and you got my attention. So now, I mean, this is like a page out of Rivian's book. They have the R1S on the right, guys. Show screen, please. R1S on the right and the R1T on the left. Like, what is this? I mean, just basically copying the playbook 100%. Here. Thanks for pointing that out. Let's talk about how they did, guys. So Q2 revenue sorry, let me just pull this up here. Yes, Q2 loss per share of 8 pennies was better than the street's expectations of a loss of 65 pennies per share. They also narrowed their loss down nicely here to about $1.21 per share year over year. And they beat expectations by 88%. So even though they're losing money, they're beating expectations. It also marked a 23% earnings surprise. Consistent beats now for Rivian on that front for 4 straight quarters. Here's how they revenue posted. They posted $1.3 billion in revenue, topping the $1.16 expected by the street. Revenue growing 19.3% year over year on the quarter. They beat revenue estimates now for 3 straight quarters. And here's the guide, Brendo. They're guiding consensus EPS for Q3 at minus 71 pennies on revenue of $1.39 billion, and full year EPS going to be $2.45, negative $2.45 on revenue of $5.23 billion. So still losing money. Yeah. And as you were telling me, a 14,000 hit per head there on the R1S?
Yeah, I think just in general across the board because of lower production. But the one thing I think Scout is going to challenge them with is the simple fact that this thing is going to come in 2 different models. One is a pure EV, the other is a gas-assisted EV, so a plug-in edition. So, I mean, they're talking 500 miles plus on the gas-assisted version of that, which is pretty decent. Yeah, it's Volkswagen behind Scout.
Questions asked, but it's also losing a lot of money. But sticking with the EV space, everybody, VinFast, on the other hand, delivered over 35,800 EVs in Q2 of 2025, making a 172% jump from last year. That brings their first half total to more than 72,000 EVs, up over 220% year over year. With stronger sales usually in the second half, they're on pace to easily double 2024's 97,000 units. They're also crushing it on two-wheelers with nearly 70,000 e-scooters and bikes sold in Q2, up 432% from a year ago. And with gas-powered two-wheelers being phased out in Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City by 2026, the growth potential looks huge. You can find them on the Nasdaq under symbol VFS, and you can see the QR code in front of you for more information if you would like it. And jumping back to Rivian, Like I said, I wouldn't be I wouldn't be surprised if we could see double digits, if not today, in the next couple of days. Rivian is going to be, it's going to be a popular bounce play off of the $10 area if and when we get there. I don't want to make it seem like it's a certainty, but certainly after the quarter, I can see that possibility. I think you worry about that when we get there, or any SSR bounce if we get there. If it gets to $11 even, bless you, if it gets to $11 even, it still wouldn't even be 10% to the downside. Now, usually the first place to look is the aftermarket resistance at 11.75. That's the first place I will look on Rivian, outside of just one of the even dollar bounces on Rivian. And I would say the same thing about Lucid if it gets to $2. Like, I know we're talking Rivian, not Lucid. Lucid's level at $2 might even be, it's attainable, maybe not today, but it might be even more clean as terms of a big support level that we could see in the next couple of days or weeks. 2 has held multiple times. It's been a good bounce zone. Whether you're taking it as a swing trade or as a day trade, it's been worth the shot. So both these names are coming into some pretty key levels. Maybe not today because they'd really have to extend into double digits, but certainly later on this week.
Everybody in the chat is like, link to the sticky note, link to the sticky note. It's Trader TV Sean on X, but I dropped it there anyways, right here. So I'm just saying short below 11.25 if we can get below there, or fade it up to 11.75. Well, guess what? We're pretty close to the latter right now. So we'll wait to see if we can get back through that 11.75 marker, which is right up here right now. So this little key level right in and around this area is what we're going to be looking to fade through. We had some consolidation there in and around those levels. Now we'll wait for another downside push. See if we can get upside, then fade that out. That line's not straight for some reason. Oh, because I didn't use a straight line. Right into there. Right there, 11.75. Now we can sort of delete this line and get it out of there. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking for right into here. If we get popped up, we'll go short, and then, you know, we could punch out at 12 or something if we're wrong. We could be wrong on this one. I don't know. But losing $19,000 per car doesn't sound great to me. And, you know, projecting a $2 billion loss for next year is not great for me either. This stock, I think, is in trouble, but I don't, you know, try to claim that this 4% is actually under what the actual move was. So we may get a muted spot. I just think that you smash this. You give it a try. If it goes into $11, then you can cover, right? So I think it's worth a quarter. If you hit 11.25, you cover somewhere down here between 11 and 11.05, and then you're going to have your 200 period moving average there to support you. So I like the stock. I'm sitting here at 11.75. See if we get the short. We could be wrong, but I think it's worth a shot here with Rivian, and not much love for the space in general. So EV names, South Side. We just got, it's 11.25, so we just got the imbalances. We only have one more name to talk about. That's Opendoor. So we'll do that in a couple seconds. But Snapchat didn't even make our list. And this name is absolutely the worst name, Neil. You mentioned SMCI. I actually forgot about Snapchat, or I would have mentioned that as well. But that is also down with a 700,000 share imbalance. Snapchat, not good, man. I don't know when this name gets bought out, but I've always thought in my mind, I bought at one point this stock at $8, and it went huge up to the upside, and we were able to get out of it. But I don't think I want to buy it again here. Snapchat continues to go a little lower. We'll talk about that as the market opens up. Let's just go find out some more information now about Opendoor.
Quick, Unity, not Snapchat, Unity flying here as well, guys. The conference call is on. They did report this morning, so just be aware. I haven't seen any comments that kick this off, but huge buying came in to you at session highs as well. Let's cover open here real quick, a couple minutes to go before we get to the bell. Back to session lows, meanwhile, for open.
Yeah, well, we were popping up there, Brendo, in late June. Shares traded around 51 pennies, and a lot was made about a reverse split, possibly to stay in compliance, but they canceled that after they made a deal with the Nasdaq. Here's what they printed on revenue: $1.57 billion. That's up 4% year over year. Their net loss narrowed. They're losing about $29 million, but that was better than the $92 million they lost last year on the quarter. And they're guiding $800 to $875 million for the next revenue report. But here's the deal. So they're planning to expand, Brendo, into referral-based services, kind of moving away from that capital-heavy home flipping that they're currently involved in. And the CEO called the companies, this is their most important strategic shift to date. So we'll have to see how they do.
Yeah, back below $2 here, guys, to kick things off this morning for Opendoor.
Yeah, I'm playing over/under at the $2 level on
Rivian.
open. Like if it's so much as cracks that like 2 3s above, I don't mind to taking a clean breakout trade. But if it's just going to fall apart, it's not good. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it. And again, you guys have went through the numbers. 25% down. I was saying you take a shot at this if it even approaches that $1 and the 200 period on the daily. I didn't think it was going to get there today, but if it does, it's about $1.40. Very unlikely. I think that would be an obvious buy zone to try to catch a momentum play to the other side. But it's a $2 level right off the open that I'm going to be keyed off of. Less than 1 minute to go, and surprise, we have a special guest that's going to ring the bell. You might have figured out who it was with a little bit of a sneak peek earlier.
Yeah, we're excited for all of that. There he is. He's doing some stretching right now. He's kicking the logo right now.
Okay, that looks too cool.
Down ready to go as Raheem grabs the pictures. Okay, Armand, man, grab your mallet soon, my guy. As we're getting ready, we are into Rivian right now as we go. So Rivian just shorted me at that 1170 mark. I said I was sitting there. We had written down 1175, so we're now short into Rivian with only 15 seconds left. We'll watch out for Apple. I didn't get to talk about it, but I'm bidding 205. Just real small here on Apple to see if that comes in on their recent investment. All right, Armand, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah! All right. We are now open. There it is. Yeah, hit it. Hit it more, man. More.
Hit it again.
Again. Why not? Go again. All right, the market's open. Who cares? All right, here we go. Rivian is starting to go to the upside. We just got to pop into $12 right there. So we'll have to wait to see what winds up happening now with RIVN. Thank you for all there's a lot of words like cute right now in the chat. So we want to thank everybody for that. So there it goes. Rivian is starting to go back up to the upside. Let's check out what our advanced micro devices is saying right now. It looks like they want to go lower, actually, trying to break through the bottom. We didn't take that break through the bottom trade because I wasn't sure about it. It's SMCI right now that I think we like. Small little break at 47 is worth taking, in my opinion. So we're going to do a little bit of that and then see where we go. But SMCI right now trying to test itself out. Looks like we're going to get stopped out. We're breaking through $12. Look, if Rivian comes out, it comes out. There it is. So we take out of 2/3 of that one. As Rivian almost green now, right there, back up to the upside. So Randy may not get that $10 bid action right there. But Rivian's starting to go. So we just got punched out. So we're there you go. 0 for 1 to start the day, but not too many shares when we get filled in the pre-market. So.
I took my shot at that 98 level on open. I saw it immediately trying to hold. I'm like, okay, well, we're going to go short off the $2 level for sure, off the open, just in case it, off the open, in case open flushed. Pun not intended. I might get another shot at this coming right back in, but I'm obviously looking at SMCI, and we didn't get a chance to go over Palantir. So very quickly on Palantir, day 2 earnings play.
Okay.
Still PLTR, not PLTR. Thank you very much. My notes said 169. Palantir doesn't care. Let's just leave it at that.
No.
So we're not going to get 169 the way Palantir is flying here, but I do want to try to join this above the volume weighted average price. Just believe there weren't a lot of really strong earnings names here today. So pick on a day 2 name that was super strong relative to the market. Palantir continuing to fly. I've got to double check what Lucid is doing. Is it doing what Lucid is not doing what Rivian is doing right now. That might be the better opportunity for the fade.
All right, we're short here, SMCI, so we've got a little bit of a banger on right there now. So we're trying to make something back. I mean, I don't know, it just went down into the 70s. We didn't cover any of it. It was only 30 cents at most, so I shouldn't say there it goes 70s again. All right, I'll put something at 75. I'll put out 5% at 75 if we can get it. And then we'll just wait to see if SMCI does have its sort of fade opportunities there. We got a little bit more of Rivian up there through $12. So now we'll wait to see if it does eventually. We wanted to get out of what we had and then put on another trade there. So Rivian is starting to go. Palantir's gone, by the way. I know Neil just talked about
ridiculous.
that. Apple as well on their new investment. Wow. We were at, again, we're at 205. We wrote it down on the mark. We were at 205.25 again. No, sorry, 205.15 for Apple. We missed that, and there that goes, trying to break through 210. It looks like
Figma.
Apple going for sure. Yeah, Figma's a name that we didn't look at, I don't think. But wow, Apple with a huge FU finger right now, candle, to the shorts, breaking through 208. Wow, Apple's going.
Yeah, I guess maybe we do care about that story. Even though we knew the investment was coming, everybody, another name that we didn't talk about, Figma, absolutely dumped all over itself yesterday. So obviously this one is going to be in play, but I want to try to play this one off of the 80 level. It's not really doing a heck of a lot. Open is, I don't know, it just keeps going these 2-cent moves. I'm trying to be nimble with it at the $2 level. God, I hit enter twice every single time. it just, you know what? It looks like the buyer just stepped in here above the $2 level. I said I would reverse if that happens, so I got to listen to myself. I tried it at 98. I tried it at 99. I'll probably go long here at 2s or 2.5s and see, well, I'll nibble in at 03s and see if we can't reverse this one. If it's just going to trend up for a little bit into 225 or 240, let's see if we can't get a piece of that pie. But Palantir, that's the missed opportunity. Not that it came to the dip buy price. I would never have gotten my fill, but at the end of the day, this one's a rocket ship. I got to try to get involved here on the first available dip. Maybe the pre-market high, 173. Adara, news?
Yep, something.
I just want to let you guys know here, OPEN might have a bit of a catalyst as well, in addition to its earnings. We did have Marcus Lemonis, who is apparently the CEO and chairman of Beyond, posting on X about a minute before the open that he is open to the idea of Beyond partnering with Opendoor. Now, this post has been circulated and pumped by Eric Jackson. Eric Jackson, in case you might recognize this name, is the individual who was really, really heavily pumping Open starting a couple weeks ago. So long story short, Open and Beyond potentially partnering, that could be something to watch here for OPEN as well. Back to you.
I mean, that's the kind of
175.
story. Is it 175? I was going to say, like, I got to go long.
Well,
on
almost.
But instead, we went long on Apple. So bang, 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 bang right now as Apple's starting to go back up to the upside. Good little call. Trying to buy the dips there, and we did.
It went to 71. I wanted much lower than that.
Yeah, we got 207.70, 207.97s, or 207, whatever, 208 and change. It might not go. The market is blasting to the high side right now. I do like Palantir for sure. I mean, Neil just mentioned that. I was thinking about a 175 break. We haven't sold any of this name. There's some mic. There's something in my ear, Andre, and it's a little bit bothersome. There it is. Thank you. There. It is now off. So thank you, Andre. But yeah, Palantir right now just bouncing off. And the thing about that 75 level is we've seen it before. Yesterday we bounced around. We got as high as 176. So to me, it's if anything, it's a fade spot until we wind up breaking this. I don't want to go short on Palantir though. So I think you just want to wait to see what winds up happening up here at 176. Maybe we break it, maybe we don't. But Palantir right now to the upside. It's Apple for me. That's going. This is now 70 cents in the money. We want to take out a little bit more here. Might as well at 9 or 85s. We just take that out. Now we just wait to see where it wants to go from here. We want to make sure that we do have a winner on board first. Again, Rivian bounces off 90s. I think that's worth putting some love into now. So we'll put some bid. Okay, it's coming right back in. Let's put a little bit at 91. SMCI, we're not dead to rights on this name or anything like that. We took a very, very small fill once we broke through 47. So we actually get 46.96, and then we got out at 70s. You guys saw me sitting here talking about like, oh my God, it's bouncing off 70 a couple times. So we wind up getting 75s, and now you're right back up to 48. Not probably, but is worth a little bit of a short up here, I would think, just to get some in. I don't know, like I don't want to be too over this stock. The market is obviously on a little bit of a high note here, so let's be careful with our SMCI. We'll go short a little bit, and then if it breaks above this 40, let's give it to 48.50 on the break higher in order to stop out. I do want to punch more short if we break through 46 though. Apple is the one that's just coming back for me there. It was a good out up top. Glad we got some out there, but we never get out enough, of course, when it goes back against you, Neil. So we're going to wait for that one. Uber 92 break I'm looking at as well.
Uber is super strong after the 20 billion buyback was announced. And it was like Disney. Like Uber was, for whatever reason, was gapped down or moving down on earnings, despite the fact they were good. It doesn't really matter. Then the buyback got announced. It looked pretty good. So it's kind of just observing what was weird to me about one name going to the upside, which was Rivian, and then Lucid to the downside. So I said, look, I'm going to pivot and go over to Lucid if it's just going to hold a lower high. It bounced, held exactly VWAP. It's a $2 stock. So stops might get a little bit tight here, down 9%. It did tag SSR, so it breaks out above VWAP. I would jump away from it. The other thing we mentioned, Palantir, day two, it doesn't seem to want to stop, but it did stop at 195, at least temporarily. I just missed it by 20 cents.
Oh no.
Yeah. Palantir does this all the time. It's hilarious. I'm trying to get long in front of this local high here at 173, and I put the order at 173.22 because I always do. I have this affinity for that number if I'm bidding around the quarters, but it doesn't matter. It's holding these 50s. And Palantir had a rough time with 175, but at 73 to 74, you can try to get, well, I'm just getting into this, going into the 175 level. And don't forget, I said I will take 3 shots at the Tesla 312 long, which will include when it attempts to break it today. Again, This has been a fail break, which I do not mind jumping out of right away, but I said I would take this every single day that it happened, and it's happening again today on Tesla. Well, I got a bad wick, so it's going to be tough to see till I clean that up for you guys.
All right, we're cruising right now. I mean, damage sort of made back there a little bit as we do grab that Apple. Let's check out what's happening with AMD again. Of course, AMD with their earnings report yesterday misses by 1 cent. The guide is in trouble a little bit because we don't know too much about their Chinese situation right now. So we're going to wait to see what AMD wants to do. And it looks like it doesn't know itself right now. It's only down 6%. It had that move up into the 200 period moving average. Now it looks like we might want to break a little bit lower through that bottom. Let's check out what its friend NVIDIA is doing, of course, just to see how that's playing off of these numbers as well. NVIDIA flat on the day, but having a nice move there. I guess we got pretty low there, 176 up to 178. That's a nice move there for NVDA, but at the end of the day, not much action right now. I mean, even SMCI isn't doing too much. We just looked at that. I mean, we're hovering around here. We add a small piece to our short. We do want to get shorter up there near 48, and then if we break higher, we'll punch out of that one. Apple's not doing a whole heck of a lot to go as well. I do like that Microsoft 540 level. That's nowhere near. Snapchat, we've hit that before on earnings, but we didn't look at it today, and kind of glad we didn't. I mean, even if you take that pre-market break there at 56, actually that would have been okay. Goes down to 30, but still hovering around right now. And then Uber on the note, I like the buyback, the 20 billion share buyback. That's really nice there. EPS and earnings beat top and bottom line revenue and EPS. So yeah, Uber's pretty good, but I want to see this 92 level. It doesn't look like that's coming in just yet either. So yeah, for right now, it's just my biggest position is Rivian. We're starting to scalp out a little bit of that. We are red on this so far there today. But here comes SMCI. We are looking to get some more short up here at 47.80s. Let's just take a little piece now in case it doesn't get to that level right there. There goes Apple right now trying to go through again, 209. Let's take another piece out here in the 80s. And again, an initial investment made by Apple. I think it was $100 billion coming into the United States. So that's as promised. So there we go. We'll see. Maybe there's something good for Apple coming later on today as well. But right now, that's what we're doing.
Well, I can tell you Tesla was better than yesterday, but that's not my much. It tried to break. It did break 312. We got all the way up to 312.60s or so. I got a couple of legs out there, more than I did yesterday, just because of what happened yesterday. We took more out there on the way back through the $0.50 just to make sure we got out a half. But at the end of the day, Tesla just does not want to break away from that level. Open door, the door is open. I said the pivot, it's not moving that much, but I'm going to use some puns for that thing today. $2, tried it short, reversed into the long. If it gets to 225, I kind of still think this is a short, so I'll play this to 225. I'm not shorting 225 automatically, but I'm going to be looking for a short at 225 on Opendoor. Again, not exactly the best thing, but it's a squeeze play. And with that, I don't know how much does that beyond story means anything. But yeah, for a squeeze play, you just kind of ride the momentum while you can. Palantir bounced off the volume weighted average price, then immediately lost it, then bounced off the pre-market lows at exactly 173 and is losing it again. I don't know, Palantir is not showing the strength that I would like to see so far. So Open, believe it or not, that's the stock that wants to go up out of this group.
Let's go SMCI.
Where's SMCI?
It's starting to finally go back down a little bit just because you're talking about Opendoor there a little bit. We do have a first dollar winner right there as well. There's Apple right now at $1.20 in the money right there off again our posted note right there. We said 205 long on Apple, but there goes the break on that investment. There we go, man. We're back to Greensville finally today. So there it goes. Nice move for Apple. Rivian still doing absolutely nothing though. And then SMCI trying to go down. So we've been shorting SMCI. We like that play right there. We can see maybe even more short through 47, but we've got a decent position on right now. What's up, Adara?
Yeah, I just want to let you guys know here about NVAX. This one tends to get a lot of retail attention. Great move here off the open at high of day. It did report Q2 earnings. Unexpected profit. The street was expecting a loss per share. It looks like they also beat on sales, and they raised their guidance. So great look here for NVAX. I want to remind you guys as well, we don't have any numbers coming out at 9:45 or 10 a.m., so nothing to worry about there. But at 2 p.m., we're going to get some Fed speak. Then at 1 p.m., an hour before that, we get the 10-year note auction. Back to you.
All right, Apple's really working.
Yeah, so Palantir's trying to regain that 74 after bouncing off 73. Remember 75 big resistance on day one. We'll see what it does with day two. Tesla just went again. It looks like this is very different from yesterday, which is going to be hard to show you guys with that wick. When it broke, it was straight back to the downside the last couple of days at 312. Today, it is instantly back through. So it's taking a second, second stab at this and continuing to rally. I think there's a lot of potential upside for Tesla past this level, filling in this gap. If we can get to 320 today, that'd be absolutely fantastic. As I said, open, I'm looking for a $2 to 220-ish move on open. So I'm almost half out of that thing as it just pushes through 215. So when we get to 220, take another quarter out, that kind of a deal. But Palantir flying, Tesla just got to 313. And the market is not really doing much, which is weird. Very weird.
Yeah, right here. So it's too bad because we're 70 cents in the money right now. As there goes SMCI breaking lower right there. So that's a face slapper for sure. As SMCI taking down 47. Next stop, hopefully 46.50. As there goes SMCI. And we talked about it when it was up here that we wanted to reshort that thing. So boom, nice little downside play. Now let's wait for 46.50, see if it comes through. We've got to make something happen here. And then there we go, man. 210 now for Apple. So we're feeling much better about that play. But we got back into Rivian against 1230, and we were able to take some out down there at VWAP, and we should have taken more as we realized that it was holding. I was hoping for a break, so a little bit selfish there. We should have potentially got out, but right now we are at some of these levels, so that's 32s right there. Just seeing, we can extend that maybe to 35. What do I have as a breaking level there? Yeah, 30s. So let's go to 35 right now. 1236. We'll get out of all of it and just sort of be like, oh man, we'll figure that out as it goes. But here we go, man. Nice move down now. Let's take a little piece out here for SMCI. There it is, man. $2. So we're at $2 in the money on Apple. Now $1 again. SMCI joins the dollar club right there. So far so good as that name continues to go a little bit lower. So we're happy with that as it goes up and away the P&L. But the SMCI is going downside. Up and away goes Apple and Rivian right there. Snapchat trying to bounce off 750 as well off their earnings report. So yeah, that's down only 20% right now for Snapchat. Like Thanos, man, Snap and that stock is cut 20%. So we'll figure out where that goes. But yeah, nice play to the downside right now. And of course, your boy, we just talked about this. We're green on the day now, despite our bad play there on Rivian early. And that was the pre-market level. It's tough to put on a lot of shares, but I did like 1175 there, and it didn't work out. So downside play, SMCI trying to go as well. So far, so good. Relatively flat, though, on the day. No huge trades.
Well, we just got 314 breaking on Tesla into the 315 level. It looks like it's going to... there we go. We just had a seller at the 314.5. 3 or 4 times it just did the over-under. Someone slammed it back through that even dollar, step by step. Look, realistically, this pullback was into 310. Despite the fact that it was a 312 long, it was a 310 pullback, which means every $5 is going to look for the out. If we jump back into 312, prior resistance turns into support as far as I'm concerned. So eventually Tesla does go. But the first time it didn't, right? So it was a secondary play. Opendoor, just to go back over to this. Opendoor's quarter, not good. Won't pretend it was good. It was bad. It's down 14%, but it was down over 20%. That $2 level was all I cared about, just that even dollar. Short underneath, squeeze above. It broke. Got some out in front of 10, between 15 and 20s, because I said 225, I want to look short. That's the next area of outs. I'm now down to holding, essentially holding like less than 5% of it because I wanted to be out in that range. I'm just going to slap a stop underneath the volume weighted average price on open, which is randomly at my entry price, which is just weird, at 203. So if we break VWAP, I'll just jump out of this trade. Pure momentum play. I don't think necessarily that the stock is going to be good or anything like that. It just felt like once it started squeezing, the potential. Palantir, that's now trying to break the 175 level.
Oh my.
Let's go to the 15-minute chart. When I said 75 is resistance, it did break several times yesterday. It just had a lot of trouble holding that level. But Palantir trying to break 75. I want to hold into the all-time high at 176 on this break. Was that a call for Adara?
Right now, Tesla's just blasting up to 318. I know you just talked about it. So is Apple. The market's really getting going right now. Savvy Canadian traders looking to boost their exposure can now tap into the Nasdaq 100 and the S&P 500 with Beta Pro 3 times daily levered ETFs featuring built-in FX hedging. This aims to amplify short-term, remember guys, market moves, minimizing the impact of currency swings. Whether you're feeling bullish or bearish, these ETFs are built for active day traders ready to take on the market. Read the full risk disclosure, of course, and prospectus at betapro.ca before investing. Thank you to Global X for their continued sponsorship right now. Yeah, look.
And the longs in the triple leverage are probably doing pretty well because we're now green. Remember this morning, we're like, all of these earnings were bad, with the exception of Shopify.
Shopify, yeah. And
Snapchat.
A-Lab.
And A-Lab.
A few others.
No, but it didn't matter. Remember, the Mag 7 was all relatively green. Apple got good news, and the futures were still flat to slightly up. So it's a third of the Russell reports this week. There's a lot of small cappers and movers and shakers, but really they're not going to affect the market all that much. So like your trading sentiment versus the market sentiment might be a little bit different when we have earnings. Unfortunately, well, I mean, I'm going to do, like when I see a level like this post earnings, I wanted to let it fly. I threw a trailing stop the second time we took 175. Like if we fail that top again, I do not want this doing the reversion while holding on. It held this level and got to that level, which is 173 to 175 on Palantir. So I will take it and be happy with it. But ultimately, some of the disappointment, I think, is going to be the Tesla one, an extra buck there. So Tesla, I tried getting rid of this wick. The wick came back the very next minute on Tesla. So the scaling's gonna suck. You know, like this, I got out, it came right back up to 316, then 317. Tesla's on an absolute mission today, was a good long. The L for me is gonna be taking that shot. Wasn't even on the plan, but I just saw Rivian going up, and I'm like, Lucid at VWAP, Rivian trying to go higher, and this one looked weak. So I'm like, let's take a shot at this for a couple of cents worth of risk. It goes right to the pre-market high and reverses. So maybe if I just given it 6 cents or 7 cents instead of 3 cents, it would have been a winning trade. But this was not part of the plan. All the other names were.
All right. SMCI still sort of following the spot rate here that it needs to follow. And, of course, that is downside. But so is Palantir now starting to retrace off that 175. Let's just check out what Opendoor is doing here real quickly. We did get that news there from Beyond. We'll see if they have some sort of an investment opportunity coming through with them. So well off the bottoms there, bouncing off $2. I mean, if you like $1, maybe you like $2. And now you have a definitive out down here at 190, just in case that winds up going back down to the downside. So, Snapchat and Opendoor, both interesting names to the downside. We have Rivian, we have Lucid, we have that Tesla trade going nuts. Check in on what Amazon's been doing. Again, I like the dip buy opportunity. Wow, now Apple's really starting to go. I do like the dip buy opportunity in Amazon. Just thinking that down into here, 213.50. So we have 50 more cents to go before maybe we get a little interested. Apple just took off again, so I do have to take another piece out right now of Apple as we went long there. And we went long a decent amount of shares. So we'll get some more. Okay, now it's fading back out again. All right, let me just offer. Okay, there we go. We got some out there at 80s, so we'll have to watch out for Apple making that move downside. Finally, Rivian is trying to come back in a little bit, so I should put something on the bid. I mean, I'm down here bidding 1150s and things like that. So that's where I think Rivian was going. But now it comes back in. We'll put some bids at 98, see if we get those fills. As this trade now turning positive for us finally. We saw that 1230 level. We didn't average into it there like we maybe should have. So next time it comes up, we can try that to get a little bit more up there. We didn't do it, which is sort of my bad on that one. We should have been a little bit more aggressive, I feel like, on that take. But maybe Rivian does fall back in. I don't like the name. I don't like the stock. It has not performed that well. Right now, Google, IBIT. Just looking at what IBIT's been up to right now. It seems like it could be okay at some of these levels here for IBIT. Just bounced off VWAP, bounced off the 200 period, or the 50 period moving average. So definitely something to be said there for IBIT. We'll wait to see if that wants to get going as well in and around these areas. So right now, IBIT trying its best to get through some of those levels, as crypto really shouldn't be having too much major effects with some of these earnings today, or any earnings really.
HIMS is getting
HIMS, that was day 2, right?
Quadunked.
Quadunked.
Quadunked, which you can find on UrbanDictionary.com. I have no idea who put it there.
No, not you for sure.
It wasn't me. It was me.
It was definitely somebody, but definitely not you.
5.5% to the downside definitely wasn't me.
No.
It broke. This is a fail. This is a huge fail. We were talking about do not sleep on day two plays. I almost said day two fails. And of course, HIM's flat bottom breaks the level from yesterday. It's there. Thank you for hitting the key. It is what it is. But if this gets down to $50 on HIM
Figma
is a huge level. What's going on in Figma?
Figma is getting to the downside rate. It's upside, up 6% right now, trying to break long. There's a reason why Figma wasn't on my radar here today. Let's go. Is that a call for Adara?
Was it?
Then let's go.
It was.
Eric Jackson strikes again. That is the Opendoor investor who's been very, very active in pumping the stock on X. He said apparently a shareholder of Open passed along Sam Altman's cell phone, so he sent Sam Altman an unsolicited text advocating for a partnership with OpenAI and Opendoor. And yes, this is a real post on X. OPEN continuing to bounce after that earnings report, guys. Back to you.
All right, yeah. So Sam Altman,
is that
all right there.
So we just got a super
Open's
chat.
Not moving that
we got a super chat, and I'm gonna ask Adara to do some more work. Apologies for asking you for this right away after we just came from you. Firefly Aerospace IPO today. Fly, what is current price? I thought it was tomorrow. I thought Firefly was tomorrow. So my understanding is Firefly's tomorrow. Is that true, Adara?
Sorry, Neil, I'll cut in here. Yeah, it is tomorrow, August 7th. Price right now ranging between $41 and $43, offering 16.2 million shares. Offer about just over $800 million as far as I can tell. Back to you.
Okay, there you go. So Rawson Rayong, 632, Firefly tomorrow. Like it's not necessarily in the category that we'd put like the open trade on Circle and Figma and all those bad boys. But shouldn't be on our radars, that Firefly. I mean, the space is getting interesting, pun intended. Like ASTS was a lot stronger. I was about to say ASTS having a really good day. I know it was up in the pre-market, actually coming back to earth a little bit here, but certainly
coming back to rare earth or no?
Well, not rare earth, just to earth. Back to earth is ASTS. But yeah, that's why Firefly should be in play. Not Firefly. Yeah, Firefly Aerospace. Problem is Firefly, and there's another Firefly, but Firefly Aerospace tomorrow. I don't know if it's an automatic take the open print for me. I don't know if I feel like I'm putting it in that category, that we just take a market or limit on open. I don't use market on open orders and just go for the Hail Mary. It's not quite big enough in my opinion.
Yeah, Arista Networks and Astera Labs are the ones. So ANET today with a nice upside move there. Solid AI growth name here. Arista Networks continues to fly higher into the open. And the other big one that we didn't really cover too much today, of course, is Astera. Astera with a huge move as well, even continuing this move. Hey, Neil, this one's only up 32% right now, going upside right now. Again, another big print for A-Lab, and that just continues to go higher. I mean,
they got that A-Lab money.
Yeah, they do got that A-Lab money. Well, they don't actually. They got their own money. Yeah, it looks like right there. There's 150, and we talked about this yesterday live when Sharif and I were doing the after-hours show there. This 150 level, as soon as we broke that, there it goes. Huge move now for A-Lab through 150. Yes, thank you, Sharif. I see you're in a good mood today. That's great. 150 breaking higher. Hey, look, man, all good moods around here these days. I mean, despite Again, despite earnings, haven't been the greatest, but if you trade the right names and you get the right pieces, definitely worth it to look at A-Lab, look at some different names here that are starting to punch through some of the highs.
We didn't even mention Uber.
Yeah, well, I looked at it. It was going down, wasn't it?
Well, this is crazy. Well,
SMCI are buying some more back.
I shouldn't say this is crazy. That's not the right way to think about it.
Crazy.
Because anything can happen. Pretty solid report, and then a $20 billion buyback coming out of Uber. And I get it. Right now, it just seems like the momentum is out of the stock and has been for a little bit. It's like once Tesla's stabilized a little bit, maybe we're waiting for the next bad headline out of Tesla, but we just keep hearing partnerships. Everybody wants to partner with Uber for their ambitions when it comes to autonomy. They want to go into a city and they want to partner with Uber so they can get a percentage of their riders right off of the bat. I think that bodes well for them. Just unfortunately, we might have to be in a wait and see mode. This seemed like it was going to be a patented, we're down on a good report, we sprinkle a buyback on it, and we squeeze everybody out by breaking out the top. Literal opposite has happened. It's coming right back into the bottom. I might consider going long 85 for a reversion type play, but I'm disappointed big time in this trade action off of Uber. Palantir, it did a dip. To say that it dipped into VWAP it's like when it was at 73, you just have to be sitting on the bid. Like you're not, like these wicks, it's getting down there and just getting bought right back up. Like we say Thanos slips snapping a finger. But it's about 174 in the volume weighted average price for Palantir on a day 2. It still hasn't broken yesterday's high, so no new all-time high for Palantir. I mean, what's going on? It's been 24 hours and it hasn't made an all-time high.
What's going on? Must be something wrong with the stock.
Yeah, clearly.
175 and change.
Actually, exactly 24 hours since it made its all-time high.
Really
literally, because it was. I think it was at this time, like 9:50.
All right, let's just check out what's happening with AMD. I just was reading through my notes there out loud and just saying Apple, Rivian, AMD, Uber, Palantir. So Palantir, I wrote down one. I don't think Palantir got to one. No, no. It opened at 171, but shot up to 174.50 right now. Neil's just covered that. All right, so AMD, we'd say that we'd try to play off the 200 period. It's now 10 o'clock, so we are coming into, enough data here to sort of understand that if you do break that top right there, 166, then you're in a little bit of trouble. If you do have that short going through there, you might want to watch out for that. I am debating. I said I'd only go short on AMD today, but it's not giving you the short feels, or it's not giving me the short feels right now. We're $1 in the money short on SMCI, and Rivian's trying to get lower here. So far so good today, but it's this 166.20 area or so that's got me a little interested now on AMD. But yeah, right here, my big trade, or not my big trade, but the trade that I have the most shares on right here is going to be Rivian. I'm bidding 11. I'm bidding 95s. Maybe we should be bidding 96s. Let's just keep it there and see if we get it. It's Apple right now that continues to march higher as well. That's at 210. And then SMCI, once again, back down to 47. So let's take out another small piece here at 47.03. I'm taking out like 2 to 3% every time. And again, trading here on a prop floor, by adding liquidity, we don't pay per trade. So that's why I have a lot of different outs here, because again, if you have a bunch of shares and you're noticing that it's holding levels, the best thing to do is get out of some of these levels, and I don't want to get out of them all, because if it breaks lower, I want to make sure to still have something for that dream, right? And so that's what we're waiting for here on SMCI. Hopefully a break lower in this name gets us that 46.50. We've already came close to getting that price once. We got 46.60s, so that was a decent level there. Good play for us on Rivian as it pulls back in right now. Let's see if we can. We're close to making it all back. We just got to get through here a little bit, break lower. We'd like to see this back into the 70s for sure. Just got filled on something else again. Oh, wow. There goes SMCI. Let's go, man. The bear rides again right now with SMCI. Good job, man. We're back to it. We haven't hit our day's goal or anything like that. We haven't had any crazy trades yet today, but this SMCI is definitely working to the downside. It's 10 o'clock. Rivian's going, and Adara's got an update.
Here's the S&P 500, pretty choppy here. First two candles, both more or less kind of closing around the same place, because these wicks higher and wicks lower. But right now we're actually trying to push decisively higher for the S&P 500. Nasdaq, though, actually making solid gains so far. Let's see if we can break past that 563 level, which has shown us a bit of resistance so far today. AMD, one of many earnings tickers on watch. SMCI, also on watch in this space. A lot of these names are going to be more negative, though we did actually have some strength in tickers like Astera Labs, Shopify, and Arista Networks. Then we have Disney, another earnings name on watch. This one also, though, had this NFL deal. NFL agreeing to sell some of its media businesses to Disney in exchange for a 10% ESPN stake. The company did beat on EPS, but missed on sales. Then we have Opendoor, OPEN. This company also reporting earnings, and Eric Jackson, a notable shareholder, has continued to pump the stock on X so far this morning. Right now, actually pushing a little bit here off the open, but still not really able to saliently break above that 225 level. Back to you.
Terminology there, pumping
saliently.
I think that's what these guys got to do at this point, is pump these stocks up.
We were sort of joking just now. It's like, if you're not in AI, it doesn't matter.
Yep.
Disney's quarter looked pretty darn good to me.
I thought it was great.
Uber's quarter looked pretty solid to me. You got the buyback, and the market's going through the highs, and neither one of those two stocks is participating. With regards to that 225, I know I said I wasn't going to automatically short that level, but what I am going to at least do is kind of move the litmus. Like I said, I'm going to get out if this loses VWAP the last little bit. VWAP's a moving target, and I have yet to automate something which will move my stop for me. So I got to manually move the stop on Opendoor. Yeah. And if it does, look, if it breaks VWAP, I might look to a short. But speaking of the volume weighted average price, a company that we know had bad earnings is trying to break out the top.
SMCI?
Well, Lucid.
Oh, Lucid.
Well, I mean, there's a few names that had poor earnings. Tried it once at the volume weighted average price. It just, because it hasn't broken out and Rivian had, I flipped over and to look at this. 226 doesn't have like a big size level on it, but clearly there's some kind of a wall happening on Lucid. I'm just gonna sit on the offer at 25 and 24.5 and try to get picked up. If I get picked up, great. It should be pretty obvious where my stop is. There are situations where you don't have like an obvious, like 1 cent above the level stop.
Yes,
this
sir.
is not one of those.
Thank you, Randy.
Thanks, Randy. That breaks that shelf. I'm out instantly.
Cheers. Cheers, Randy.
Yes, it did.
What was the question?
Whoa, language, Randy. She. Clay Davis.
That was fun.
The Clay Davis. Downtown Clay Davis.
Something about
Rivian's faring a little bit better.
Yeah, Rivian's my only losing stock today.
It almost went green today. That doesn't make any sense. But why would
Give it time.
you were just saying
we were buying
Rivian's
the dips, man.
Hold on a second. First of all, $10 maybe. I don't know.
10, 12.
$10.
Oh man, that Amazon basically, we're going to end there in a second. That Amazon came right into that level that we were talking about, and we didn't do anything about it. Darn it, man! Right into 214. Come on. Missed opportunity. What's up, Adara?
Keep an eye here on some of these oil plays like CVX and XOM. The White House basically announcing here this executive order. Trump, I guess, issuing a mandate that imposes penalties on India for purchasing oil from Russia. Oil pushing lower here again. New mandate here from the Trump administration that imposing penalties on India for purchasing Russian oil. Back to you.
Thank you, Adara. But the only bull that everyone should be concerned about right now is Webull. Wow, up 4%. Nice little candle right there to the upside on your 5-minute chart.
That'll
I mean,
play.
a blast right there from 15 breaking. Looks like it's just breaking that level right there. So, you know, again, buying the dips, man. We talked about Webull. That offering that they had was a great opportunity to maybe get a little longer. We saw the great numbers from the great quarter from SoFi and from Robinhood. Regardless, I know Robinhood did fall a little bit off that quarter, but Robinhood's right back up to some of those levels. Well, it's 105. I guess it's not right back up to 112 yet, but Robinhood's still doing the best it can here at these levels. So I still think there's good opportunities here for Robinhood investors to get some more money into this name down at these levels. But right now, a nice move upside on Robinhood, nice move upside on Webull. And then we can check out what exactly is happening with SoFi here again. And there's a lot of investors in this one. Again, dump some of these shares in and around that, well, exactly at $24 as we put that order out pre-earnings. It comes right into 24, right into here, rips up, hasn't made its way back since then. I feel like this is a good actual pattern right now for SoFi. It's basing out right now off of a strong earnings report. So this looks like a great hold in and around 20 bucks. I mean, I think that this could also be a nice buy opportunity for many of us looking to get into SoFi in and around 20 bucks right now. So I do like it. And there it goes, man. Yes. Okay, we're finally there, man. The money's now finally starting to come in. So, yeah, it's going to be SMCI. So there goes SMCI. We get our 50 print right there. So, wow, good trading there on SMCI. We added that one into the sticky note. So we did throw out our note today. We have Apple long, we have Palantir long on there, and then we added SMCI somewhere right here, talking about this break level. So yeah, it's nice to see that it's working out. Thinking about getting some more shares if we break below $45. I don't think there's anything wrong with doing that if that does come through. Rivian is the one that's really just like we just got out below view up there. We actually got some 80s. Actually, no, we didn't. Our best out is 91s. Still waiting for 87s. 87 came on the bid right there, and we did not get filled. That was the 50-period moving average exactly right there. Apple at day's high right now, so that one is going to be a banger. We'll hit the sirens up for Apple and get some more out now because we don't have too many shares left of this name, but we should be getting something there. There it is. We get a 23. We offer that. We get punched out of it. There goes Apple up 4% there, starting to deploy some capital. Come on, Apple. Do something with Perplexity. Do something with Anthropic. This thing would rocket if we get any AI news from them. I'm super excited to get that. But, well, that's why I think it will rocket. Because so many
no
people,
one's expecting
right? Exactly. It's like we're not expecting anything from Apple for AI. Boom! AI buys Perplexity. Bye bye. The stock will be up 15%. So we'll see if that wants to go. And then Neil and I just sort of turned to each other and was like, nothing's happening on AMD. And yeah, nothing's happening on AMD.
AMD has a held bid at 164. Like what I mean by that is it's not like a million shares sitting on the bid or anything like that. You're not going to visibly see anything if you pull up your level 2. But what you will see is when it gets down there, it's broken by a couple of pennies a couple times, and the buyers jump right back in. So I'm just literally eyeballing this, and the second I see signs of it losing under 164, I'm going to short this breakdown. It's a mini trend break, but not a big one. But it's just this held bid at the 164. If it loses it, you might see me pop in short at like 80s or somewhere in the 163.80 range. But the buyers just keep on coming in. If they can break them on through. I was looking to short this, but I didn't think we were going to. There we go. We're getting down to the 80s now. I did not get 88s. I just did get 82s. Could not get 80. Really could not get 88s. This is AMD, not anything else. Oh, we're going over to Adair. So look, if we get back above VWAP, I want trend breaks to work right away, especially when it's a held bid. So I don't want this to get too far past the 164 quarter range. Adara?
Just keep an eye here on New York Times, NYT, another earnings name, this one near day's highs. They did report a double beat, and apparently their net subscriber adds were up on a quarter-over-quarter basis. So good look here for NYT. Back to you.
Money, Apple just keeps on, honestly, man. Like, let's go on Apple right now. Just huge move. And let's go to SMCI. Right now, we're bidding 46.25s. Let me take out just a piece right now at 37s. There you go. We just punch out, actually, just in case we don't get that print to the downside. But there goes SMCI. So right now, guys, just if you're, I mean, I know Neil's had Palantir, some big wins as well, Tesla, so on and so forth. But we have 270 in the money right now on Apple. So we go to you for that one. And then we have $1.50 in the money, looking for a print right now on SM. Actually, you know what? I'm going to cancel this SMCI. I'm going to put a little bit less shares here on SMCI in and around this level. So we'll take some 26s if we were lucky enough to get them. We were not. I'll punch out right here. There you go. I'll take some 28s right now, cancel my 26s, and we're just going to wait for this one, man. Yes, job accomplished right there. So we'll say those were
mission accomplished.
Yeah, mission, job, yeah, whatever, man. I mean, I consider like our job here, obviously as hosts, but I like to talk about, you know, trades, give these guys, give everybody, myself included, obviously, some of these opportunities. So I think this, yeah, job. Although every day we come in here, I feel very blessed to be here, and I don't really consider it too much of a job. But yeah, there it goes. Nice downside play there for SMCI. And again, as it was written, man, we talked about the bigger move expectation here today for SMCI, and there it goes down to the downside. So $3 in the money on Apple, which we talked about early. We really like that level. We like this break. This is my first position that I was in, besides Rivian right there. So big time trade happening. And yeah, happy to be here with everybody here today, as we always are. Neil and myself, we put a lot of work into this show. We want to thank Fabian, Andre, and Ramin as well for all of their work behind the scenes, Mark and Rob, and thanks to Russell over there for doing all the work, man. I mean, we would be nowhere near getting this thing done if we didn't have.
How early?
I mean, every day these guys are in and doing the best job. So yeah, thank you to Russell and his team back there. But there goes SMCI right now. There it is, man, $1.70. We're now $3 in the money. Apple is absolutely going ham right now, and bang, there's another out there at 211. We've been on one for a minute, and we're not going to stop. Thank you for watching. And what's up with Miss Adara? Nothing. Okay, that's great.
Well, what's up with these super
Reverse
chats?
Get it.
Darth Trader PM, thank you so much for the super chat. Was going through a drawdown over the past week, spent a bunch of time watching the tape and decided I need to give RB the rock again. Best day in a month. Thanks for your lessons. Shout out to you. Appreciate you, Darth Trader. Not just because you have the best. I don't know a way to. Anyways, it's like a really cool Darth Vader little logo there. Not because you're a Star Wars fan, but because the most important thing you can do. Like if you go, anytime you have any kind of a slump, go back to the basics. Go back and figure out what works for you the best and do more of that and less what doesn't. I know that's a simple thing to say, but it's the simple messages are the best ones, I think. And Chan, I'm just gonna say Chan in the chat. Novo, there was so many names today in earnings, it would have been almost impossible for us to get to them all. And when Pseudo Lucid, okay, big fan, what's your honest take on Fubo stock? Do you see it having a shot at a breakout? Is it more of a long-term play? Appreciate your insight. So we'll do a couple of things first. Go to Fubo second. Look, AMD, the $0.50, the full dollar, the low of the day is 162. Trend break, want to play to the low. Now that it's made the move down to first support, Stop goes into break even. So that is something that I have to do manually. So I'm just going to put that in there. And then we can go over to Novo. I can't, first of all, I'm not going to get over HIMS being such a clean break to the downside at 55. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But Novo seemingly, only because I don't want to jinx it, I like the setup in a general sense when you have that break of the low early, which happened in the pre-market, and then blast to the upside, hold it, because it's almost like you trapped a few shorts down here. But it's way too early to be celebrating, let's just say, because you've made it fresh bottom, right, since it got blasted, and you've held a higher low, but until you actually break out the top on this, we're still in a downtrend. So yeah, it's shown you a bit of a reversal candle, but there's still no breakout. You're still in a downtrend. But the next step would be breaking 47s, and I think you get some positive momentum. And my honest take on Fubo TV is I'll be the first to admit I'm not a huge fan at all. What I can tell you is technically it's telling you where to buy or two places to buy. And so I'd like pick one if you like it. The 50 or the 200. It's literally respecting both of these levels, and it looks to me like you've been able to scalp off both those levels for a while. So what's the most simple thing you could do? If you want to really short-term trade it, wait for the 50 period moving average. If you want to take a longer shot at it, take it off the 3 level. Fundamentally, again, like I said, not really that big of a fan of the company. I don't really know what the catalyst would be for it either.
Fubo, okay. We just want to make sure that everybody right now hits your like and your subscribe. We have 9,500 watching, only 911. Ominous number there, but get that going. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and I think we've been doing a lot of trading here today and covering a lot of names, so thank you for all of your continued support. But let's just go find out who's making all the money right now at Real Trading. So this is a posted up number that we get here. It's an internal number that gets posted to every single trader that trades here at Real Trading. It's just what was put up yesterday. This is obviously not today. These aren't real-time numbers, but we can definitely review them as such. All right, so yesterday, these are all in US dollars. We got $24,000 coming from somebody yesterday who traded both these markets. All this on the right side are all the markets that were, whoa, this trader got busy with it. All right, so this one right there, 18,000. Shout out to Canada.
I know.
Right there, 18,523. And then as we come into here, we've got the TSX, we've got Copenhagen, Helsinki. This is why we call this, man, Real Trading. I mean, you could trade any market you want right now, pretty much worldwide here at Real Trading. And that's a good example right there, Mr. Worldwide. Milan, LSE, the Nasdaq, and New York. So, yeah, man, all these markets closing. I think it's still 11:30. It's not daylight savings time. So all these closing. So you could definitely look out for, I mean, I can call up a symbol. Maybe we'll do that after this.
I just congratulate. We know him.
What it looks like. Okay, good.
We know him. He used to sit on this floor. We know him.
Okay, good. A good number for that person. 6,800 on New York and Nasdaq. Then you have Canada, TSX, CBOE. So again, shout out to Canadian traders one more time. Back there, Canada again, New York, Nasdaq, But the last trader there, number 10, coming in at about 5 Gs. These are real numbers right there, of course. And that's brought to you by Real Trading, the trading floor that I've been on now for 25 years. So, all right, let's just keep going on all of that, of course, as we look to make some more trades. All right, so Rivian not doing much. I wish it was. We just took another piece out there at $11 or $12. Today's big thing, again, we got soft data. We have, we can check out the DXY to see what the dollar's been doing right here today as well. Let me just see what Bitcoin, this is what a Bitcoin chart looks like right now coming through. This is just a, you know what? I'm on the wrong, like, OKX. I'm just going to go Bitcoin here on Coinbase.
It's either, Coinbase.
Yeah, or Binance.
Okay.
Binance should be fine.
Binance is good.
Right there. So, yeah, here's what we're talking about right now. I got to get rid of these labels, but it's a nice move down right now as we get into 14,000 again. The 200 period moving average, trying to absorb that. I'm going to look at a 15-minute chart just so it matches with everything else. And right there, so 14.4 looks like a high, and we're just trapped right now in about an $800 range right here, from 14.4 down to 13.8. That's $600. So nice little $600 range right now for BTC. And then Ethereum as well. Let's go to Binance for that as well, just to see what's going on here. And same kind of a move, trying to figure itself out right now is Ethereum. So yeah, not too much happening in the crypto space. I will pull down some of the dollar strength right here just real quickly, just to see dollar currency index. That's about right. Yeah, so the DXY started to head down today, down 1/3 of a point. So as we get more strength in Nasdaq, which we had up there, now it's fading back out. The dollar is coming back down. So that relationship makes a little bit of sense to me there. So yeah, so far so good. Rivian not doing anything. SMCI doing everything for me, down to $46 near the low of the day. This is a $2 winner. It's a $3 winner in Apple. And we just wait for Rivian to hopefully fall to the downside. And that Webull, by the way, as we brought you that a couple minutes ago, Webull continues to make new highs on the day, up now 7%.
What a beast. And there was no story there.
I know, Adair. I was just going to yell, shout out to Adair right there, see if there was an individual story behind Webull, or is it just that break that happened right into there? So yeah, Adair is saying nothing on that one. So yeah, maybe Webull is just going
it's
right
just
now.
bullish.
It's last time stopped around 17. So I'd say be careful, but it's nowhere near there yet. But you know,
yeah,
little move there for Webull.
I don't know if that's the one I'd want to short today. Like yesterday was relatively. So remember, we were dumping all day yesterday, and Webull was just chilling out, going trend higher. Yeah, I don't think that's the one. Like yesterday, on the first day, it's going counter to the market on news. I took a shot at it to the short side, didn't lose. But the second day, it does the same thing, and the market's up. Give that one a pass. I'm not trying the reversion there, but AMD reverted to the low, so we took the trend break. It wasn't just a trend break. As I said, there was a held bid at 164, which does mean something on the way back up. So the play is, if I was shorting up the top, I'd short it to VWAP, but from VWAP to the low of the day on AMD, I preferred shorting a pop in AMD, but it just didn't happen. If we get back above 164 and it starts holding VWAP, I wouldn't mind flipping this into a long trade if the buyer that was there before reestablishes. But for now, AMD is continuing to go southbound, 7% down. I mean, look, I think it's a bit much. Maybe the bias gets the best of you. I'm like, how far can it possibly go? Could we really see 10% down on AMD? It's possible. If we do, I'd probably look for an SSR bounce on this name. I mean, AMD had run so far going into this print. And comparables being comparables, like you try to compare their margins versus NVIDIA, it's almost not fair to do so, but they don't look so good next to them. And that's just the sad reality, but like, how much can you really blame them for that? You have a unicorn with NVIDIA that you're being compared to. It's almost not fair. But it doesn't matter what I think. I'm not prepared to buy it just yet, but I'm thinking about where this might be a good bid. Let's go up to Adara.
Here is the IWM for our small cap recap. Looking a little bit weak to start the day. We are above yesterday's low, to be clear, but right now, much like what we were seeing early on with the S&P 500 today, pretty choppy action to start. This is a little bit of a different small cap recap. I could not find a ton of huge movers in the small cap space, so these are going to be smaller cap earnings plays. PSNL actually down on the day by about 27%, but trying to bounce here a little bit off the open. Personalis, this one has about a 13% short float, beating on earnings per share, smaller than expected loss, but missing on sales. Then we have OSCR, Oscar Health. Great push here off the open. This one's still actually consolidating near high of day. They did report worse than expected earnings per share and sales, but they did affirm their fiscal 2025 sales guidance above estimates. Then we have OPEN. This one guiding not the best going forward. Their sales did beat and their earnings per share were in line. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content. And if you're into these small cap names, check out our midday show at 11 a.m. Sharif will trade these pretty frequently. Back to you.
It's true. Webull literally made the high just now.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
We're getting some, I just got some more out here of Rivian. McDonald's apparently starting to go for a run as well, as they had earnings today. So there goes McDonald's up to 309 and change, and still
adult Happy Meal
going
coming
further right now. Yeah, adult Happy Meal, okay. 310,
Yeah,
what's the difference between adult Happy Meal and like a $5 meal or something?
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, exactly. What are they including?
But I'm down with it, I guess.
Come on, Rivian. Yeah, I mean, I'd be fine with that as well. But McDonald's, again, a nice little move to the high side. They've got some new items around. I don't know. I'm not really too in tune with that report. So we'll do some research on McDonald's and figure out to see if that comes and goes. But there goes SMCI. Yeah, buddy. Nice move to the downside as we punch more short right now just to see if it wants to go. So yeah, we're back into, not back, we are into more shares right now, adding to our position on the short side. So this is now over $2 in the money from our high spot there. And we just punch in a little bit more, giving that average price. We actually didn't get a great fill. We got 93s there on the downside. No, sorry, no, that's not right. We short sold, yeah, for some reason we did get 93s, so we do not get a great price on that break, but let's put a bid out there. Where did I put that bid? 75, so let's see if we can get a little bit lower right now on this beast, and of course we talk about SMCI. So far so good here. Just waiting to see if it gets a little bit lower for us, added to that position, and this is what happens when you have a little bit of confidence, of course, in your position. We add to it and see where it goes. I mean, there is a little bit of a chaser on this one. We're obviously SSR, so you're not going to be able, that's why.
You can't, yeah.
I was going to say that's why I missed it. Okay, so when you punch out, basically my order, I crossed it down a bunch of pennies, but it only gets filled once there's an uptick. Yeah, so that makes a lot of sense. But here we go for SMCI, nice downside play here as we're getting real good with this one now. And as many of these names have come, I'm not ready quite yet, but here we go. Coming back in is Rivian. So there it is, 1180. Yes, sir. Let's go, man. The money is now pouring in, Neil, as we get some nice plays here in this market here finally. So Rivian finally starting to come down. So does SMCI, man. The traders got to trade. And that's what we're trying to do right now. Apple, Rivian, and SMCI all starting to work out. But yeah, there it goes, man. Apple, nice downside play. And we'll go over to Neil and see what he's all about.
Well, what we're talking about right now is something you have seen before on the show, and that's Trade the Pool. You've seen it. But now you got something different, something new, something special from Trade the Pool. The free ebook featuring 4 proven swing trading strategies from Trade the Pool's top funded traders. Inside, you'll see exactly how they approach the markets, how they manage risk, and what setups they rely on so you can learn and grow from what actually works. Download it by scanning the QR code on the screen or hitting the link in the description. Shout out to Trade the Pool, and thank them, of course, for being a sponsor. I appreciate them at Trade the Pool. Just a quick update. It's like the kiss of death when I was like, yeah, I'm not going to short Webull. Up here, maybe that's not the one you pick on. And what does it do? The most clean reversion to the volume weighted, super clean reversion, topping tail candle into the volume weighted average price. So yeah, obviously that would have worked. And AMD, I'm glad I didn't go long off of the lows trying to catch a bounce is about all I can say. That just continues to flush, now 7.5% to the downside. On the other side of the spectrum, Palantir continues to go. We're not going to get VWAP again. So we got a couple bucks out of Palantir, and then it just went a couple bucks more. But it broke out the all-time high, so it took 24 hours and 20 minutes, 30 minutes or something like that to make a new all-time high. This one is now gone. If you're looking for resistance, throw up Fibonacci's or just look at every $5. So like 180 bucks maybe, something along those lines. We'll see if there's any kind of a reasonable pullback we can get. And then, like I said, I jumped into Lucid a little bit earlier. Earnings not good. Nothing really good about this. They lowered the guide on their production by 10% for next year, so they're still having production issues. Shorted it at VWAP early, but then waited for the held offer at 26 and shorted 25 in front of 26, just looking for it to break down into the bottom of the range. I'm short 25, and if it breaks 26, I'm getting out. So just to give you an idea. And Opendoor is still exactly the same thing as it was before. There was an interesting, I hesitate to call it a story, beyond me open to the collaborations, if we're even calling that a real story here on, but it doesn't really matter. It's a squeeze play. And I'm like, above $2, a chance to squeeze, and it did. It went to 225 already. I'm holding on to a small piece. I think if it loses 2, this is probably if it loses the $2 again, I'd probably start thinking short again on Opendoor. I'm willing to trade this in both directions. And I'm pretty sure there were free locates on Open, I'm pretty sure. So you can short this at your will if you want to. I'm holding on till VWAP.
Oh, AMD, what? It's
up? Still tanking. Oh my, it's 160.
Oh my God, that's the play. Oh my God.
160.
But we have, good job over there, Joey O. There has that. We're same. I mean, we're huge here on SMCI. So, nice call there on AMD. And we had written that down as our #1 trade, going short on AMD, but we didn't break that low there. There goes Advanced Micro Devices. Good call on that one. We're at the highest spot we've been at all day, man, and we are absolutely cruising on all of this. Rivian just going to the downside right now. Great pickup. Re-engaging in that short off $12, right? We got short early there in the pre-market. We never want to put up too many shares there, but it does tick us out, and there goes Rivian now back into the downside. Apple, I mean, good out up there at 211. We'll see where that winds up going right now, but we're pretty much flat on that. And then we've added to our SMCI position. We've got a couple outs down here in the 70 or 80s, I think it was. We got 81s or 82s right now for SMCI. But other than that, it's not really continuing its move to the downside. We nailed that AMD call, but we don't have it. Thanks for Joe for having that one and bringing that up to our attention. NVIDIA eventually finds a bid, I would think, so that might be somewhere where you want to look. And then, of course, Palantir right now 177, going higher and higher. This has a 190. Hopefully a 195 print coming. That's where I'm sitting to get out. And it's just been a big trade for Palantir. It's the #1 performing stock in the S&P 500. And there it is off earnings, like 3 straight huge candles now to the upside. And it looks like it wants to continue more. So, we're having a banger day there. We've traded 3 names here. We will still be red on Rivian, though, unfortunately. But waiting for a pullback. We still have about 40% of this trade. So hopefully that can come in. A quick look on what's been happening maybe on Tesla as well. 316 looks like a decent short there. Shout out to T-Money in the chat. What's up, T-Money? Hope you're doing well. Short AMD 165, banger. Short Rivian 1215, banger. Short Tesla 1216, 216, banger. Right there. T-Money wrote down 216, but good typo. So 316, like Austin right there. So we say shout out to you for those great plays over there, T-Money, as it goes. So man, so far so good as we continue to see what's going on with this market.
And Rashida in the chat, or is it Rishi? Oh, Rishi Desai. I don't know why Robinhood's down. Not a story that I'm aware of, but remember, again, like this is, in this type of a market, post earnings, you run into a resistance, like post earnings, it gets respected. I promised I would show what happened with Alphabet post their earnings. Look, you get to about 107 to 108 and the stock just gets sold. And so it simply means that the sellers are in control at this level. It couldn't break it and looks like it's just a continuation, maybe a flat bottom. It looks pretty technical to me, so it doesn't need a story. I thought the earnings were good too. It doesn't really matter what I think. There's a seller anytime it gets to and approaches the 107 level. Alphabet was super strong yesterday, and it ran into the brick wall that was 197. Again, and this is looking like it's doing a continuation play to the downside. So it doesn't really matter necessarily whether you have a catalyst. Sometimes you've just got to listen to the price action. Don't get too wrapped up on stock needs to go up because it beat on the top and the bottom and their growth was double digit, blah, 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 all that kind of good stuff. Because if that's all you really think about, you can get yourself in a world of hurt, right? Like Opendoor's earnings were atrocious. The first thing it did was go up. I remember there was one day 2 years ago, maybe it was 2 years ago, it could have been only a year, it doesn't really matter. I think it was Snapchat or it was something like a Snapchat, and it was atrocious after earnings. And within 30 seconds, it had halted up. It was insane. It was just like the buy pressure that came in was just shorts covering and a little bit of squeeze action. So we try to focus on the price action, because if you go too fundamental in the first 30 minutes or the first hour of trading post earnings, you'll get yourself, like I said, in a world of trouble sometimes. HIMS continues to fall. This is a story of simple continuation. It wasn't good. Outside of again, actually, this is a perfect example of what I was just saying. It squoze yesterday, despite the fact that there were all kinds of signs of weakness in HIMS. There's a laundry list of issues going on with HIMS right now, and ultimately ended up finally breaking that 55. It was a good short yesterday. Today, it's just as good, if not better, because it was clean through 55. I think this one is headed down to $46, $47. Seems pretty obvious to me that at some point it's going to get there. Let's go back over to Adara at the desk.
I'm just looking here. We do have crude oil inventories negative 3.029 million versus 0 million expected. Gasoline inventories negative 1.323 million versus negative 1 million expected. Now, it's worth noting, I looked into Robinhood. I could not find any catalyst either with regards to the move on HOOD. Back to you.
Especially with Webull being so strong. It was like this yesterday.
Yeah, that's what I was asking. Like, is there any news there on Webull or anything like that to see where that's coming from? But yeah, apparently not. Okay, so right here, just to cover a little bit of what we're doing here, I am getting out of some SMCI. I mean, we did get a good play down to 75 finally, but it just did break above 46, and I did get out of a little piece of that left. So we only have a third left right now of what we punched lower. So look, still trying to hold out this, and yeah, we're going to figure all of this out right now for SMCI as it continues to start to go lower on this one. But yeah, nice move there for SMCI, breaking back down below $46, so a good trade there. Intel, I mean, again, AMD continues to fall down as that story continues, man. The S&P and the Dow, the Dow, S&P, and the Nasdaq all positive here today after Shopify up 15%. ASTR, big move there. No, AST, what is Astera? ASTR.
ALAB, ALAB. You're thinking Astis.
Yeah, ASTS. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about right there. This is a nice move upside, wasn't it? No.
There we go.
ALAB, sorry.
ALAB.
That number, Astera. That's what it is. So that's a nice move there now going to the upside as well. Oh, and then the other one here, ANET, of course, Arista. All these A's bugging me right now, but up 17% goes Arista as well. McDonald's following strong global same-store sales. McDonald's going to the upside as well. U.S. traffic improving. We saw some good notes also from Starbucks on that side of things as well. So McDonald's also starting to go back there to the upside. And then Uber is a funny one because they reported a decent quarter. Not fantastic, didn't blow anything out of the water or anything, but I thought that $20 billion buyback was something, and apparently it is, but nothing too great or too exciting, so not making the move now. Down 1.7%. The big ones, SMCI, Snapchat, a downside here today. Again, Snapchat, weaker than expected average revenue per user for Snapchat. I mean, I don't know why they have the users.
No, but they
can't monetize.
Declining users. They lost quarter-over-quarter users.
Yeah, but their revenue per user went up. But at the end of the day, right? So that's actually I didn't actually read that.
I don't get it with Snapchat, man. It's just
I feel like they should be able to monetize that.
What's the path forward? Because it's been. At what point are they going to start making money? If everyone else is figuring out how to monetize, and this is not a direct comparison or anything, but I mean, pull up a chart of Reddit today. Snapchat is about to touch a 52-week low when the market is at the highs, and I just don't see the silver lining in this outside of someone bigger saying, hey, you guys can't figure it out. We can take your platform and figure it out for you. I don't see the path. I don't see the path outside of that for Snapchat. But now that I didn't even bother looking at this. I didn't think I'd trade it today. But $7. That looks like it could be a nice little trade bounce spot potentially on Snapchat. And because we like to look at things that are nice. That's a nice looking chart. That's Reddit's chart. One of these things is not like the other. I don't know if you can tell the difference between the Reddit chart and the chart of Snapchat. If you can't, then, well, maybe you're in the wrong business because Reddit is gorgeous. And of course, what it's doing today, I mean, look, it's not really doing a lot of volume here today, but 3.5%, relatively strong compared to the market. Congratulations to anyone that happens to be in it. I'm going to jump, I'm almost out of Opendoor. So we have our stop, right? Remember I said my stop ended up being essentially where my entry price was? That was more coincidental than anything. But it's now got this channel, which at least means if it holds above VWAP, I have a secondary trade I can put on while still holding 5% of the first one, which would be it breaks this little channel, holds VWAP, and then I go into the long again, throw a stop underneath the volume weighted average price and see if we can't get to 225 a second time here on open. And like I said, these guys were, you can forget about it. The earnings were nasty for them. Their guidance, it was expected 1.2 billion revenues, and they guided less than 900 million. It was like 30. The midpoint was over 30% lower, which is putrid, but it's a squeeze potential play, and that's sort of the litmus. Like if it wasn't going to fail under 2, then it was a breakout over 2, and that's all we're looking at. Yeah, unfortunately for Open, not the squeeze you were looking for. Because I think if they'd had a good print, this had a lot of potential. We're talking about the increased shorts that were piling in underneath $1, which are still out of the money, but they're not really scared when the market's when the stock's down 20% today. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, SMCI continuously going lower right now as well, as we looked at Snapchat right there. But AMD also at that 160 and going lower right now, breaking through 160. Now AMD, again, man, advanced money destroyer. It's easy to say that when this is happening, but today it is, and there it goes to the downside. Sorry if you took a long on that one, but again, you're still only back to where you were about a week and a half ago or so, into 160. I mean, I think you want to wait for a 150 break right now. But to me, the big trades, I don't know what else to say, but we have SMCI short again, as that's going to the downside. And then the long of the day, I mean, look what's happening with Apple right now as well. This has just been, again, just another, I know I sound like a broken record and people probably aren't, I don't know. I mean, we had Nimrod here yesterday, seeing that everything that we're doing, is completely above water. Like, I always get people saying just like, oh, this guy did it again, or this is happening again. But yeah, there it goes. I mean, this is just 211.75. There goes Apple. We wrote it down on the note. We took the trade live with all of you. It does go against us a little bit. It does come back in to give you the reload long if you wanted it. Same thing with SMCI. We talked about this short here. There's the play there. And then you only have one other trade, and that's Rivian. And I'm telling you here, I'm red on this name. But yeah. And then there goes Palantir, like 179 right now for Palantir. Like, are you even kidding me right now? As this market just continues to go gadget right now. And this is part of the reason why this market continues to go higher. 91% expected rate cut now, going higher for the month of September. So either we get a surprise rate cut or we don't. But right now, this is really starting to go. Palantir, SMCI tanking, Apple ripping. What a day to be a trader once again here today. So, all right, OpenAI, there's news about this right now. Oh, the whole federal workforce, $1 per year per agency, they're giving it to the feds. OpenAI giving free ChatGPT to federal workers. I just heard in my ear. So
more data, more training, get the model even bigger.
Exactly.
Give it away for free,
and
it improves the model significantly, and you get a bunch of good PR.
Yep, so we like that. It's only $20 a month anyways, but yeah, nice move there. As you get to go, it'll all be free anyways at some point. So you just have to watch ads.
Because they'll monetize it in a different way eventually, but I don't think we're there. I don't think we're that close to that, but we are close to going to Hedera right now.
Here's the sector board, and it's very, very mixed, as you often see during earnings season. Electronic technology does have some strength. Apple to the upside ahead of this likely announcement with CEO Tim Cook and President Donald Trump after the bell regarding more investment in the U.S. from the company. Broadcom slightly green here. Arista Networks up 17% after their earnings, but AMD down 8.5% after their report. So very mixed here. Technology services pretty flat to mixed, with the exception of a great day 2 move up for Palantir. Finance slightly green, retail trade pretty green, consumer durables, energy minerals both strong, consumer non-durables very strong, utilities a bit mixed. Consumer services here, the two biggest names in this, McDonald's and Disney, moving to the upside and downside respectively on day 1 earnings. Health technology, meanwhile, just more or less all to the downside. AMGN notably here down 4% after their earnings report. So as I mentioned, during earnings season, we're really going to see these earnings dominated boards. And by that, I really mean we're going to see a little bit more mixed performance. Back to you.
And I think we're going to get we got more earnings after the bell tonight, right? IonQ is going to be one that moves, but certainly Lyft. We had Uber today. I think Uber was pretty disappointing, unfortunately. DraftKings, Elf will be reporting after the bell. But I want to get to a couple of super chats here. By the way, Palantir almost got to 180. I think like I said out loud, 180 because it was a round number, and just the symmetry of 70, 75, 80, right? That's just, it's just a guesswork based on some obvious levels there. But Kelvin TS said down 2K on AMD, but I rushed to short to offset that loss. Do you have any estimation how much AMD can move down today? We can always look at the charts together. There's no question. We can always look at the charts together. The only place I'm thinking about is 10% or 155. Like either or. 10%, you're looking at 157. That's an SSR bounce. But the 155 is where you see something on the daily. And it's a significant level because the last time we were down here was a dump zone and then it held the close. And then you essentially rallied multiple days off of 155. So there's that, and then there's just 10% down. That's all I'm looking at. But I'm a station to station. Like you saw me jump out when we hit the low of the day. You saw me jump out, hit the high of the day. Just take the win and try to find the next trade. Sometimes it just continues down. So 57, 55, those are the two levels I'd be looking at there in AMD. I think Jedi had another super chat as well. I do not know much about Sezzle, but shout out to you. We appreciate the super chat. We'll shout out all of them. We appreciate you. Outperformed earnings last 3 quarters. Any opinion for holders? Again, do not know much about the stock. What I can tell you, it's incredibly illiquid. So even on an earnings, even in play, this stock has done less than 1 million shares. So I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole as a trade. And then when you pull up the daily chart, this is a scary looking daily chart. If this thing loses the 50 period here, my goodness. It's like I said, I don't know anything about this company except for the fact that looks very scary underneath about 120, call it like 128, maybe even the 125 to give it like an even dollar look. Not a safe looking chart if it doesn't hold this consolidation that you're in right now, especially post earnings. But I didn't read the numbers, I don't know the report, so all we can do is look at the chart for you.
So right now, the number one stock here that most people have been asking for, of course, as we continue to look out for it, is Apple. Is AMD. Right, just said Apple right there, but AMD right now, Webull, Palantir, Figma, looking at that, Figma up 7% now today, AMD down 8.5%, Webull up 7%, Tesla up 3%, NVIDIA flat on the day, Oscar, oh yeah, I bought Oscar last night. Let's go. There it goes. OSCR. We haven't even talked about. Here, you know what? I'm going to reset this. Let us know what you guys want to talk about right now. I'm going to give this a fresh start, and we'll review this. It'll give the guys a heads up to go forward. So Marvell. Oh, I like Marvell. That's another name that we had recently bought down there in $65. We can have a look at Marvell. But OSCR. You guys know we bought this live on the show yesterday in the afternoon. So there goes Oscar. Yes, sir. That's a good one right there. That was a good idea. So anybody that was riding with me on that, so far so good, but we bought it yesterday, so somewhere it's not even up that much. It's just finally it's doing something. We bought it yesterday in and around here. I think I'm going to say 1370, or I don't know. I'll go double check the price for you guys in the afternoon, but we did it live on the air, so whatever that was right there. So we buy some Oscar at 1370, and there it goes upside right now, 1440s. We just topped out at, that would have been a good spot there. Let's see what happens with OSCR. I have to review that, but those of you that were here live yesterday, we talked about this name. I like it. We'll see their total addressable market if that did in fact go higher. Again, like the stock, it's OSCR. Seems to want to work out right now nicely. And then there goes SMCI again. It's only going to look like 50 cents in the money, but we've been short this name from the top, and there it goes. Nice play into the bottom right now for SMCI. Your P&L number one stock today will be Apple, followed by, for me anyways, SMCI. But Apple right now, just $4.25 in the money, and SMCI, $3 right now. So about $7 to $8 on those two trades alone. And then Rivian, look at Rivian, man. This stock coming right back in as well. We could be happier about our performance on Rivian, of course, but getting short in the pre-market is not a good sign, and that's what wound up happening. Got blown to the top. We just waited, was patient enough at 12 and change. We're able to get that. We should have another tick, to be honest with you, right there, but downside for Rivian right now. So everything is working over here and over with Adara. We're going to find out. I don't know if it's a segment or a news throw, but let's go see what Adara's up to.
Just keep an eye here on AAPL. This is moving to the upside. I'm just seeing this circulate now, but we did have Ming-Chi Kuo, looks like about 15 minutes ago. That is a noted supply chain analyst, talks a lot about Apple. He posted on X that about this new investment here, the $100 billion U.S. investment for AAPL. He thinks that it's less likely to have to do with iPhone assembly and more likely to be some sub-assembly for a smaller volume product or assembly for niche products within their servers. So that could actually be a good look for AAPL. We know a lot of people are concerned with high iPhone prices if they produce in the U.S. or for the iPhones, but if they're not doing iPhone production, that could actually be a nice look here for AAPL. Back to you.
Yeah, $1 billion for sure. Look, the market's starting to turn off the highs of the day. AMD just went to 159. NVIDIA, which we haven't even looked at for the first time. I don't think we've gone this long in the show without looking at NVIDIA, to be honest with you. But on an AMD earnings day, I suppose that's just going to be the case. NVIDIA doesn't even want to get looked at. It's trying to show you that it's breaking the trend underneath the volume weighted average price and heading lower. It's looking nasty in AMD. But Tesla, someone just said short Tesla 320. I don't know if it's going to be 320, but I'm not sure how long it's going to hold up this trend. Resistance to me is just a bit above the 20 level. If it can hold the trend up until we get to that 20 to 21 area, I would look for a reversion, a short trade reversion of the upward trend at that point. But it's been a good long for everyone out there. And as the market is starting to roll over, you might start to think about some names that are those pullback trades that have been high flying. Palantir, I don't know if I'd want to touch that one with a 10-foot pole. That one's going way too strong. And shout out to everyone mentioning Amazon, which is finally breaking away. This looks good. I mean, I said I was going to, but I forgot to mention that I did. I said I was going to buy some Amazon on the third day. Picked some up yesterday, and it came down to, do you like the stock, and is it at the 200-period moving average? And oftentimes, you have a line on a chart, and you're like, it didn't actually hit the 200-period moving average, but it bounced on the third day. So I'm like, whatever. I wanted to put some cash to work. And Amazon, again, guilty on all charges of having a very unimpressive cloud number when you compare it to Microsoft and when you compare it to Alphabet. 17% growth only looks bad when you compare it to those two behemoths. Everything else about it to me looks still strong. Ultimately, it doesn't break out that high, but that's fine. I think Amazon's going to be just fine in the long term. So when you get these bounce opportunities, you try to take them. So Amazon off the 200 period. I added it my personal. I already own the stock, but just wanted to have a little bit more of that bad boy. Going right back on over to just show you guys AMD. It's this stock, that 157 that I was mentioning. I think that's incoming. There's not much stopping it. That'll be SSR down 10%. I will almost certainly be looking for some kind of a bottom and tail wick for a reversion and a bounce off the 157 as AMD just getting slaughtered here today, despite not that bad a report. Margins weren't great, but 47% isn't too shabby, really. Let's go over to Adara. It's time for a little money talks.
Here's the US dollar. I've been saying for a bit, it looks like we're almost maybe trying to do an uptrend from these lows for the DXY, and the DXY is now pushing a little bit lower, giving up the support that we did establish these last 2 days. I mean, to be clear, we still have not made a lower low below this 97.15 area. We're currently trading around 98.4, but still would definitely be a better look for the DXY to continuously make these higher lows and higher highs off of that base here of 96.12. Here is the Fed funds rate. We're still seeing a 93% chance of a 25 basis point cut in September. But one thing with regards to the Fed and this decision that's still going to be on watch is who will the new Fed chair be? And now, after the resignation of Adriana Kugler, who will the new Fed governor be? We know that Donald Trump has indicated that both the two Kevins are up potentially for the Fed chair position. By that, he means Kevin Warsh and Kevin Hassett. But the other two potential contenders are not yet known, though one of them is very likely Christopher Waller. Now, in terms of the Fed governor position that's now opened up for them, Trump has kind of indicated that he's willing to put someone in now that he would consider for the Fed position. So whoever Trump does announce, and he did say last night at a press conference he's probably going to announce that this week, that whoever he announces could be one of the contenders for the Fed chair. So that could be a huge catalyst and certainly something to watch out for going forward. Back to you.
And thanks, Adara. What's up with that? Thanks for those reporting there as we talk about money talks, what's going on with the U.S. dollar, a little bit talking there about Fed chair. The thing is that we already talked about it's 92% right now chance for that rate cut, and I think that's why you're seeing a bid underneath the market. I mean, rate cuts are generally good for the market. Did it go up again?
93.
93 now, so there it is. I mean, we just called that was 91. Now you're up to 93 again, so it looks like that this is not happening for the rate. I thought I heard in my ear, we talked about Neil Kashkari. He mentioned something about how it's not impossible for a rate hike, but
Neil Kashkari.
Yeah, he's trying to Kashkari the market right there to the downside.
He spells his name wrong.
Yeah, he does. So there's a move down again for SMCI and for Rivian. I'm going to go find it right now, but we normally do it around this time. I just don't want to forget. Let's go figure out what is for lunch. I mean, shout out to Nimrod here. He likes the What's for Lunch segment. I know Joseph does as well. Today, of course, is Wednesday, August the 6th, and it looks like we could have a good possibility here for a decent meal, as today it says peppered beef with seasonal vegetable, butternut squash, thyme butternut squash. That should be okay, I guess.
Yes.
I love that stuff. With a chef's choice salad. So peppered beef, probably some Asian-inspired dish there. So that is what's for lunch, and it should be okay. Of course, we just get the salad, so it should be okay there. And there's also some sort of vegetarian option, which is generally tofu from what I can see. And yesterday the tilapia was there. And I actually tweeted it out.
I give the fish like a low 7, high 6 out of 10.
Yeah, it wasn't the greatest. I thought... Here it is right here.
Yeah, I don't know, high 6, low 7.
And this is what it was yesterday. There was a tilapia. It was a little side mac, I guess, there, a mac salad. And then that's what chef salad generally looks like, just assorted greens with some veggie on top there. So this is Sean and Sharif, as all of our lunches are posted. But yeah, there it is. That's what's for lunch, and that's what our lunches look like every day. So we want to say shout out to Chef Scribe there as well. And just a quick little look at what we're doing, then we'll go over to Adara. Right now, you guys want us to talk about the following names, man. Palantir again, 8 of
180.
You selected that one. RIVN, we could have a look. AMD, huge again. Yeah, 180 for Palantir. Wow, like what a difference the stock has made. Tesla, Sound, Amazon, Marvell, they're all here. So yeah, Marvell down today 3%. No surprise there as AMD's been getting hit. It's Nvidia, no one wants to talk about, of course, and then Amazon with a big play today as well. That's a good one. Apple, huge move. Tesla's funny because Tesla was back and forth. It's still, it just dances around there. But where is Tesla? There it is. 317 up 3%. What's up, Adara?
Just keep an eye here on OMC Omnicom. This one actually popping up here after Ad Age reported that OpenAI has hired someone from the company as their global media agency of record. So keep an eye here on OMC. I guess apparently potentially being hired here is OpenAI's global media agency of record. Market cap of $14.02 billion. They're actually in the S&P 500, and they do have a short float of 15%. Back to you.
Yeah, IREN, 8.5% that IREN. Shout out to them. So IREN, they hit record revenues for July and expanded their AI cloud with thousands of, guess what GPUs? NVIDIA GPUs. Yay, IREN. Because obviously 8.5% of the upside, that's a good looking chart. I mean, it's a good looking chart, but I think it's most charter market technicians, of which I am not one, would probably say, hey, look at the head and shoulders on that. Right around $19. So I guess you got resistance at 19 on IREN, but that's all I would know. That's from staring at the chart for like a couple of minutes there. But it's still a good win for you. Yeah, we just broke the bottom of the channel. We reversed off 2. I said over under at $2, which kind of just means I'm willing to short the stock under 2. I'm willing to go long the stock over 2. I still am looking at this channel down where I held on the last 5% for a breakout to the upside as this stock has gotten punked a little bit. There's one thing I wanted to mention. We were talking about the dollar and the Fed rate tool. If you look at the 10-year, which by the way, there's a 10-year note auction at 1 o'clock today. That is the one auction that I think you pay attention to maybe the most. For yields, the market's trending in one direction. Sometimes the reversals trend. Should be interesting to see if we hold this 4-2 area. Like if we fall underneath that, market be flying. If we bounce off that, maybe you get a little bit of a market correction or reversal. So watch out for that 10-year coming in just a couple of hours. Not all bond auctions matter, but I think especially given where we're at, with the big reversal in sentiment that we've seen recently in terms of where the Fed is going to go. Yeah, I think it's an important one, this 10-year in a couple hours.
All right, 3 minutes left. I want to thank everybody for watching. Thank you for hitting the like and the subscribe button as well. We got 1.1K of you hitting that with over 8,200 watching. So we want to thank all of you for all of that. I only have 3 trades on table. We'll go 3 for 3 if you add this Rivian move, but this will still be a red stock for me. I mean, well, just because it went back up, we were green when it came back into this area, but right now it's making a move back up. We still have about a quarter left of that trade. The Apple trade has been really the banger for me today, obviously, going off that 208 all the way up there to 212 right now, $4. That was a good move there. And SMCI has continued to bleed down. So, yeah, nice little move to the downside again for all of these plays. I don't want to forget some of the major movers, though, of course. Meta today, 770. We'll see if that wants to do anything. A nice move right now to the upside. Amazon going ham there. A few of us, I don't know if anybody made the play like I did with Oscar, but that hopefully can get back breaking through 1440. I think that's going to be a good play if that can happen. We had Opendoor earnings today as well, and they just, these guys keep trying to pump it, and at the end of the day, the earnings were not there. So, when you get negative reports and you don't show up, this is what happens. So there goes Opendoor to the downside. Again, it's not really too much of a meme stock, I don't think. It's moving around on earnings. I mean, we had Snapchat bad today as well, and that's down to 750, at least it was. Now 760, the low of the day, actually 7.25 right there for Snapchat. So that play comes in there for SNAP. And again, the big one, A-Lab. We've had a couple good ones. Astera Networks as well. Sorry, Arista Networks. That's really been the one that just keeps on. So just like SMCI keeps going lower, Arista keeps going higher and is now at the high of the day, breaking through some key levels there. 120, 130, good hold. Now you're up to 138 and change for this name. Oil plays like XOM and whatnot. I thought they were heading to the downside there today, but yeah, there it is. So a nice move for XOM coming back in, trying to base out there as well. But what's been a pretty busy day, Bitcoin looks like it's starting to go finally back there to the upside. I was just, wow, nice move up there for Bitcoin right now. I was just debating getting some more of this yesterday, didn't do it, and we probably should have. Shout out to here. What's up, Durango Julian? Right now, nice move there. Hanging out with us again. You're welcome, man. Thank you for hanging out with us. We should be super chatting you. So
I think there was another super chat too.
There it goes. Was there another one? Let me see if we've missed anything.
I thought I saw something
before we go. Fan funding, right there. Change of wave trading. Yeah, upside. So Webull right there. Exposure to Bull W. So that must be
the warrants.
A warrant or a more aggressive play. So we say shout out to that.
Oh no, it's a warrant. It's a warrant.
Yeah, and then Mike over here. I got stuck AMD 174. Trailing stop for some reason did not come into. What is the bottom in recovery? I liked 150 there for AMD, but again, I don't know if you're already out. I mean, we just did get to that a little bit late. For me, always, it's the pre-market break. So like that 162 area right there, not only was that a missed short, but that was probably a good spot to get out if you were in any worries. But, AMD still falling back down. It's 11 o'clock, 155 maybe could be a holding spot. So if you want to get a little more aggressive other than 150, maybe get out at 155. But yeah, just a pullback, man, just any other day. I mean, you're right back to where you were, Neil, on July 23rd. So 2 weeks back.
It's just, what are you going to do? Like, AMD that's how it works. Like AMD had run more impressively than NVIDIA. Earnings come out and it doesn't look that good in comparison to NVIDIA, which we haven't even gotten yet. So we get spanked a little bit. Bull W, apparently it's a warrant that expires in April 2030.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I mean, look, I like Webull as well. I'm not involved in the warrants. I just have the shares. But yeah, good luck. Webull having here. Let's look at the actual chart that we can trade before we go to the midday boys. Webull having what I think is a pretty good day. This time with the market. Yesterday was against the market to the upside. But it's almost like just pure momentum on more volume than it did yesterday, just trending higher. It gave you midday or right around this time a pullback into VWAP to continue trend and a couple of good looks on some dips into the volume weighted average price. I think I'd be inclined to try that one here in the next couple of minutes. Is trying to bounce off VWAP. But we'll be back at 2 o'clock. We'll get some. Well, we're gonna have salad. Maybe we'll steal some of the beef. That sounded pretty good.
That sounded good.
And let's go, Joey options.
Ciao.
The professor. Go get him.
Oh.
Boom. Boom. Greetings and salutations, beautiful people. Welcome to the midday show.